Productive versus effective.
Again, actually, this is related. Balay sa na siya. When you use those words ba, kaya sometimes we use words inappropriately. For example, kanang productive, possibly lagi nga imong gibuhat, mahuman din nimo. Mahuman din mo, pero ang effective is, kung nahuman na nimong butanga, does that contribute to the bigger goal?
Yeah, that's
you know
true.
what I mean? So mo na siya,
Yes.
possibly sad nga, productive kay kastanan, grabe kay ka, mahuman na yun, mana. Pero, padung ba na sa imuhang ganahang maabtan?
Exactly.
Di ba?
Yeah. Murag naigo ko ana da because last Saturday we had busy kaya akong Saturday Jiggy. There was na busy and Jiggy na mix nako. No?
Jiggy and juice.
Jiggy and juice.
Yeah, okay, anyway.
Busy kayo ang Saturday na yung mga exams, classes and all that.
Okay.
And then I don't know, even if I try to space my studying before the exams, like I'll try to study twice or thrice for that one exam, I always find myself the day before gani, diha na ko
Magpanik-panik?
dihan ako busy, like you mentioned. But then you're right, sometimes it's not as productive. It's productive because within the 5 hours that I spend studying, na magid kay mahuman magid mo tanan chapters.
Of course.
Pero the question is it effective?
Yeah.
Like, are you actually gonna remember all that on the next day compared to if you spaced, your studying and studied in smaller doses, like smaller hours within the week.
Well, depende na mo kana siya, kuha na siya.
Pero mo na igo ko sa imong ingon nga, busy sometimes doesn't necessarily mean effective or productive. Mo na siya, busy kay ko, but it's also because I'm trying to cram a lot of material in one day. So I'll work on that. Busy and productive.
Nadyo ko mahinumduman Justin sa pag high school nako ba? Pag first year high school mo to sa UP niya. Kaning naami maestra nga strikta kayo si Leilani
shout out
Verdan atong iyang apelyido atong una. I think she has remarried anyway.
Shout out, ma'am.
English teacher to nako atong una ba.
Okay.
Aligre kanis tanan kay kuan bi ako kan dili bi ako bright nga estudyante kanang average ko ba.
Okay.
Kunya nangutana siya pangutanang interesting kayo ba nangutana siya unsa may is it an advantage or a disadvantage to have a helper?
Advantage or disadvantage to have a helper?
Okay. This relates to effectivity and productivity. Nangutana siya, is it a good thing or a bad thing na kay helper? Kanang katabang ba sa balay ba? Ang kadaghanan ingon siya nga show of hands ba? Kaningon siya nga kinsay ga tuo nga
yes,
kung na kay helper nga helpful na siya. Dili helpful kaning kuan ra kaning matapulan na ka ana bitaw.
Okay, not helpful.
Not helpful nga na kay helper. Dili siya maayo para nato ba? Everybody raised their hands. Kay kaning mas maayo gyud nga what the helper kay kading kitay man trabaho.
Ideally.
Pero niyang utana siya lang, ikaw nganong amang kani raise imong
hand? Ikaw wala kay raise imong hand.
Mas epektibo man gud nga na kay helper.
Okay.
Buong siya. Nga naman, gipatindo ganyan ano, explain yourself.
Ikaw raw de usa wala ni raise
Mr. Serna. Explain ko. Ma'am, kani mo kung naka-helper good, at least you can focus on more important things. Instead of maghugas ka sa plato, magtuon ka. Ano, bita mo na akong gisulod.
That's a good point.
Sakto lagi. Pero dingon man siya, mura, gi-insult na ko niyo gamay ba? Dingon siya. Pero, Mr. Serna, imong grado, gamay man kayo.
Uy,
dingon siya, nganong.
Si ma'am ng ano. Specific pa si ma'am.
Ibaw na ka nga, pilosopo kay gusto nun.
Diyan sa ka.
Ma'am, hunaw na aragod, kung wala ko'y katabang, naunsa na ka akong grado.
How much more,
diba?
ma'am?
So muna siya.
I'm living proof.
So muna akong pasabot ba nga, I think it's important to be able to focus. If you have the luxury of focusing.
That's the keyword, luxury.
Luxury of time, then that'll give you time to focus, right?
I thought mo joke ka pa doon ka mo joke nga, ma'am, helpful yun na helper kay. Helper good. Never mind. Sorry. I tried. I was waiting. I was thinking maybe you're gonna make a joke.
Yeah.
Pero yeah.
So parayon na to ang ato ang balita, Justino.
Right.
Philvox, Philstar na siya, Philstar nga balita. These are the national headlines. Atong hisguta atong national una, pagkuman maghisguta sa atong local news. 8 volcanic quakes monitored in Canlaon according to Philvox. And the Philippines UAEI more economic areas for economic cooperation. China Bank facilities now powered by clean energy. Wow. NAPOLCOM and the IBP to provide legal aid to indigents and cops. Familiar mo kaning IBP sa? Integrated Bar of the Philippines. Saan siya mga bar ni sila?
That's the group that regulates lawyers and
dili mga bar and restaurants sila.
You need a drum for that.
14 trafficking victims barred from leaving the Philippines, according to the immigration. CIDG raids yields 52 million in illegal electronics, and PNP rather chief wants CCTVs interconnected. Mo gini akong problema kadaghanan sa ato ang mga computerization programs diri sa Pilipinas ba kay dili gid siya kaning interconnected bitaw.
What do you mean by interconnected?
Inter-cooperation, interagency cooperation ba dili gid ta maka-coordinate ba kay dili maka-access. For example, Mandawi ka, dili ka maka-access sa Cebu City. Dili sa for example kanang police, mga kaning kanang sa traffic. Dili
centralized.
Dili siya centralized ba, dili siya effective ba. So sakto ning gipangayo sa PNP chief. Hundreds of ex-NPA members affirm allegiance to the government. According to the Philippine news agency, rains expected in parts of Mimaropa and Bicol and Samar for the next 48 hours. An agri chief pushes for smart investments and high return projects. And Senate bill on aviation pushed after air crash accidents. Kabantay ka, Justin, nga daghan kayong mga air crash accidents karong mga panahon na. Daghan jud kay sanan ingon akong daddy agabi nga nag-drive mi padung sa Cebu gikan sa Dakit is that kaning mga crash ba mura man ni kaning panahon tempo murag kung naay mga crash daghan jud kay mo crash ngano ka na sa
I don't
murag,
know.
Murag is that the butterfly effect nga murag like a small flap of the flapping of a butterfly somewhere just affects
greatly affects everything.
Everything.
That I don't know. No? Oh, I don't know if it's also like maybe a heightened awareness na lang for media, so they feel like ma-news man gyud na siya weather, pero like the timing of it ba, I don't understand like how
magdungan ba.
Yeah, when it rains it pours ba.
Mura ganing lang when it's rain it's pour.
When it's rain it's pour.
It's pour. Oh.
When it rains it pours.
Okay, anyway, Negros Oriental. Importante kay nasanan nga ato ang kaning elections are peaceful kay mo ginay kaning mura og characteristics of a successful democracy ba nga when we can have the practice of the elections, that the orderly transfer of power mo gina usa sa key features of a democracy, di ba, nga makapili ta sa atong mga pangulo, mga leaders nato nga walay gubot, di ba? Kaning ang uban kadaghanan sa Pilipinas, we are actually especially dapit sa Mindanao kaning noon gyud nga medyo gubot gamay atong election ba, pero relatively speaking we're actually having more peaceful elections in the past few years na, di ba?
For this year it'll be the same also, no?
Mo ginay murag characteristics of a good democracy, of a mature democracy.
So what are the ways to have that, like a peaceful? Is it really just reinforcement of like police power?
Kuan gyud na siya kaning reinforcement gyud na siya of police power, kanang visibility.
Okay.
Importante kinang makakita sila niya kaning klarohon na gyud ang mga enforcement sa balaod and all of that stuff. So importante kay na so crucial kay ni sa ato ang election karong Mayo nga mga peaceful ni siya kay kana manggong peace equals economic progress mo gina automatic mo gina, di ba? Matik gina siya kay ang mga investors mo gud kung imuhang nasod imong lugar gubot dili na sila mo invest, di ba? So simple ra kay na siya nga butang nga tan-aw nimo, pero of course it's a very complicated issue, but I hope our government officials are all over that and serious about it. Another headline from Philippine news agency: Philippine, or rather political ambition, should not compromise public safety. Mo na kadaghanan nila Justin Sang mura og winning at all cost ba, di ba? Murag
at what cost?
At all cost gyud, dili kay at all cost gyud. So kanang mga tao nga dili sad sila makadawat og kapildihon bitaw. Mo na siya kabantay ka sa Pilipinas nga wa gyoy mapildi nga wa gitikasan. Yeah, puros wagin. Wala gina, puros gina kaning complain and all of that stuff. Maybe it's a valid point, maybe it's true, maybe it's not. But wa jud ko nakahinumdum nga naay eleksyon diri sa Pilipinas nga walay hisgot og tikas ba. Mo batay ingon ako nga basig natakdan ning Amerika sa Pilipinas. Di ba? Natakdan sila kay si Donald Trump sige magbagot-bot sad nga katong katapusan ng eleksyon nga nakitikas puto siya. So that's very important yun nga. Our elections are not only peaceful, but the results our people can agree with. Kada bang murag nalipay sa mga katawhan ba sa resulta sa election ba? Dili kay paminaw nila nga naagyoy foul play ba?
Yeah.
Okay, Nueva Ecija private groups yield 8 firearms amid election gun ban. Kani interesting sa kaning gun ban kaning sa election. This is part of the peace
enforcement for peace.
For peace nga na gun ban ba. So kabantay kada kay checkpoints.
Yeah.
I-check gyud na inyong mga firearms kay mo manas usa sa mga makagubot ka ng sa tawag ani na yung mga pusil, di ba? Unya usahay sad mo sa ni gamiton sa mga politiko kanang mga army nila ba nga to force to coerce people to vote for them, all of that stuff. Niadto ning una, I hope doesn't exist anymore nato yung mga army sila ba nga ilahang mga army nga mo threaten
instill of fear.
Instill of fear para bubotar sa usa kaklase nga kandidato. Okay, 2 Chinese nationals nabbed for selling unregistered medicines. Uy. Napatay Manila Bulletin. Ikaw na po ng Justin. Nahurot na akong in English. Binasa ng balita.
So this is the news for today from Manila Bulletin.
National news. Okay.
FIVOX cautions public. Taal volcano hazards remain despite quiet activity.
Okay.
Campus highlights P3B government fund in fight versus cancer. The DA's 4,000 MT onion importation exposes government neglect of Pinoy farmers groups. Erwin Tulfo eyes expansion of his key DSWD program. Sara Duterte's chief of staff returns to work at OVP. Alianza has no problem with Amy Marcos joining the PDP Laban Proclamation rally in Chanco. And a security guard, tricycle driver, arrested in drug busts in Taguig. So those are our news headlines from the Manila Bulletin. There's one here from Manila Times pa. Ato pa ni basahon?
Basahon ta na siya.
Alright.
Ay lang balik-balik ka. Kung nibalik na ang balita, ay na lang balita. Lain lang po nga balita.
Sige. So these are headlines from the Manila Times. PH needs to reinforce cyber defenses. De Lima vows social justice reforms.
Kanang cyber defenses, di ba? Wag tayo alam magana, di ba? More ba
the new growing ano pa siya.
The new warfare is now cyber warfare, di ba?
Yeah.
Mga cyber attacks na.
Exactly.
Kanang di ba ng TikTok, kanang take down ang government websites, kana kung dili ka
hacking and
although if you think about it, kinumdum ka tong I love you virus.
Yeah, I remember that.
Gikan to Pinas.
Yeah.
Daghan kayo mga virus nga gikan sa Pinas. So hito siguro to anas na siguro tayo mga banggiitan nga mga virus experts.
What year was that, gani?
Nakalimot na ko ato. Bata pa ko.
Ago,
Kinumdum ko na. Teenager pa ko ato.
Well, at least we're lucky that the image it shows is I love you, but you know, it's still just it's still a virus. But it's like I would call it like a friendly virus.
It wasn't because it took down a lot of websites. It took down a lot of pero mo na siya ang pasabotan ng kaning naakay virus nga will take down a lot of great websites is that maayo ka sa internet.
You're a good hacker.
Usually i-hire man na sila kanang mga maayong himog virus. They get hired by security companies to know because they know more than
to test out mga systems.
No, if you think about it, they were able to penetrate through an antivirus system. So pasabutan ang giling ni sila, di ba?
Yeah, they are.
Yeah. Okay, go ahead. Continue, Justin. Ato mga balita sa national headlines. Go ahead.
Right, from Manila Times, De Lima vows social justice reforms. Go extends
unsa man ang social justice, Justin? Kanang pasabutan na nga kana magsusa-social ka, maglaglaag na nga pa kanang gwapo-gwapa kay kasanan. Unsa man ang social justice? Kung social ka, justice na dai. Kung di ka social, dili injustice na siya. Unsa man na?
I think it has to do with kanang more equity in society and making sure that everyone gets their
due share,
their due share, something like that. Like I think it's a very broad, but when I think of social justice, I think of that. Everyone gets their share.
Possibly na, Justin. Possibly na everybody gets their fair share.
I think to a certain extent,
it is a kind of utopia man siya. Murag di
mindset, no?
Di magina may tabo siguro sa. Tanaw nimo.
I think that's a good question, no?
Yeah.
Can we actually achieve that? Is like social justice something achievable? I think it is to a certain extent. I feel like at some point somebody's bound to get like a piece of the cake, but I'm also like doubting if that's the truth, the truth that everyone can really be satisfied. Everyone can really have all their needs met.
Sa akong nabantayan, wala magyud na panahon sa ako ang natanaw sa tibuok kalibutan I'm talking about like based on the readings that I've done and the studies that I've done in na wa jud ko nakabantay nga naay panahon sa kalibutan nga everybody is equal kay mura man naglangit mura man nagkaning murag imposible kay tanan
because in the very first place nobody has equal circumstances.
Yeah.
But then if we're gonna question that, then what's the point of all of this? What's the point of like democracy and order if we're not gonna believe in social justice?
I think it all boils down to the mind. I think it all boils down to contentment. It's about happiness, ano bitaw? So
satisfaction.
Imong sukdon dili ang social justice, social equality dili sa ilahang bank account but ilahang kalipay, ilahang contentment ba. And I think a lot of that has to do with psychology and psychiatry. I think mo nang ako yung gi-push gid ba. Ang importante kaayo ang gobyerno mo employ gyud og mga banggiitan ng mga psychologists ug psychiatrists para makibaw sila unsa ang gibati sa katawhan, di ba?
Okay.
Kanang gibuhat sa kan naay gi-index silang happiness ba, di ba? Gross national happiness ang number 1 diha. Number Denmark man, di ba?
Nasa kanang European countries.
Kanang nasa mga Nordic regions, di ba?
So you're thinking that social justice is highly linked to satisfaction and happiness. Contentment. Okay. But there, of course, before we even reach to that point, na may other measures for that,
correct,
right?
Yeah.
There's just a lot. I can't think.
No, there's a lot.
On the top of my head,
like healthcare, for example.
Perfect.
Importante ka na healthcare.
Okay.
Kanang inequality. Kanay kay imong feeling good kung maski anilang sample ikaw, Dustin, nanrabaho ka o usa ka kompanya, right? Unya imong sweldo kay $1 million.
Okay.
Ako kayo, di ba? Imong trabaho kay manilhig ka sa atop sa tops, for example lang. Ako lang Unya sa pikas ng atop, parihag trabaho nimo, pareha og
working hours,
pareha ka inita kay pareha namang lugar pero sa pikas nga building, ang sweldo niya kay $10 million. Ikaw 1 million ra. Di ba? Si imong paminaw, murag
it's unfair.
So mani kansi kapoy na kog trabaho diri kan usa ka milyon man ako. So inequitable na siya. Dili siya equal, di ba? May buong kang pero kung imo nang i-insertan og contentment diha, imo ang pasabton siya nga okay ra man ang 1 million good mabuhi ra man ka ng 1 million ang buwan sobra pa gay nagali pero nasuya lang ka sa pikas kay 10 million dito sa pikas, di ba?
So a lot of it has to do with your state of mind, no? But it does sound like sometimes when you're trying to achieve contentment, it does sound like imo rang gipaano ang tao ka ng what's the word? Sometimes contentment can be equal to like what's the word? Kanang mo allow na lang ka ba nga that's the inequality. Like that you should just be content. You don't need to do anything about it.
Yeah.
That's on the other side. It could also be, contentment. I feel like is
imuhang measure.
What's that word?
You because diba, we're always comparing machines, diba?
Yeah.
We can't help it, right?
Yeah.
Because
that's our nature.
That's the only context that we have. We only know how something is, whether it's good or bad.
When you base it on something else.
Oh, yeah.
Perfect.
So kung imong i-base against that other person nga dakog sweldo mo 10 times, then kansi ka. Masuko ka pero if you base it
naman imong basis.
But you base it on your kaning cost of living and the way your life is and where $1 million would go
will get you
month.
or perhaps your previous work experiences or
whatever, di ba? So malipay lang sa di ba? You know what I mean? Like it is kind of a weird human trait ba nga mo compare to ba? Pero especially in that way ba? Kanang lugar bitaw nga mura og kaning klaro jud nga both of you are actually all right. In fact, you guys are very very successful in many ways, di ba?
Yeah.
Ang pagkumparar lang yun.
Yeah, I think we should definitely put a pin on that because I want to talk about on the next topics. Does comparison kill or something like that? Kanang murag the human nature of comparison ba and being what's the word you said? Contentment and comparison, the two C's.
Sige.
Guys, please keep updated. We're gonna talk about that in our next sessions. Okay, so we've also got Go Extends feeding program in hospitals. Baguio launches circular economy program.
Circular economy program.
Yeah.
Ano sa man pasabot ang circular economy? Magtuyok-tuyok lang?
Magtuyok-tuyok ang economy. I have to do research on that pa, no?
Okay.
But based like from the top of your head, do you know what that is? Circular economy program, like.
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Tujuk-tujuk ta
Tujuk ang economy. IP's complaint versus lawmaker gets support.
IP?
IP, yeah. This is the thing. Some of these
intellectual property.
We need like the full, for these abbreviations, no?
Okay.
Oil spill victims in Cavite get boats.
Oil spill.
Victims.
Nay, oil spill sa Cavite, eh?
Apparently, no. And get boats for what? Like, were they rescued, or was it like for damages ning receiving of boats?
Basig siguro to rescue siguro, or to to clean the oil spill siguro.
Okay.
Potentially, yeah.
Government begins tough task of reforming prison system. Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, that's also another interesting topic nga.
Yeah.
Kanang prison ba? Does it
is it really a reform, or
are we there to reform,
or for punishment?
Or
well, ideally, people would would state nga it's really for kanang reform.
Pero
reform ang gid na. That's the whole purpose of these kanang penal institutions. Pero a lot of people who have gone through that system and who've studied the system would really disagree. Like what you said, in comparison, especially to penal systems in other countries, kaya kita murag punishment man ang atoan niya, murag dili man kaayo siya reform, because there's no integration of kanang programs for kanang mga psychological well-being and that, or maybe it's not enough. I don't know.
Kada kanan sa mga piniriso nga mga dato,
mga
piniriso nga influential kayo. Pero preso lagi tuod ko na sila, pero hayaan kay air condition pa, paghuman napay Netflix, napay kaning Prime TV, napay kaning whiskey and wine, ano bitaw, murag
hotel stay,
murag mga preferred kuan ba, preferred.
So there's that
kanang prisoners ba. Sige sa padya.
That's an interesting topic. I'll look into this for next time. There's another one here that says 27 Mandawi officials and 24 others face raps.
Okay.
Let's say raps.
Like, gipakiha, rap. Dili rap ka ng cookies.
That's why I was like, rap? Patuloy sila sa TMC so we can promote the music. We should be playing the music. Wow, 27 new rappers from Mandawi. Grabe ha sa Cebu, guys. We've got so much good artists. Mandawi rin eh.
27 ka mong rapper.
Ay, nako.
Girap dito din. Unsam ni Justin eh. Unsa pa.
2 drug suspects yield P6M shabu in Davao. So these are news. Thank you so much to Revo Operating Center, Revo Opsen, for summarizing. Thank you so much for your national headlines. Wala pa local headlines.
Ato ni basa ng local headlines
from
our friends from Sunstar.
Daghang
salamat diha ga Home and Company sa inyohang paghatag exclusive ni gitagaan jud ko
your own
kaning own subscription sa Sunstar man, magbasa-basa ko sa balita. Dili na ko kaning magbasa-basa o kaning papel.
Gone are the days.
Paghuman.
Do you miss that though, Jiggy? I feel like that completes your morning. I feel like
dili jud ana.
You never liked ba katong news gid?
Dili jud ko gana newspaper kay kaning
there's a stench.
Akong mama man gud. No, actually no, it's not nothing to do with that. Akong mama mag-una gid sa newspaper. Iabot sa balay ba. So ako kaning TV na lang ko. Ano ta mo sa basa man ko niya kaning akong mama magtan-aw ka sa balay sa Guadalupe sa kaning ask ka nga newspaper ba nga iyang pil-on niya kaning I remember before when my Tito Benny was still alive. He actually died 3 days ago. God once again rest your soul, Tito Benny.
God bless his soul.
Tito Benny Holganza passed away 3 days ago at 3 a.m. in Cebu Doctors Hospital, and he's now being cremated in St. Peter's in Talisay, sa Mohon Talisay. Ibalik siya sa Dakit Barili. That's where his home is. Eventually ilubong siya sa Columbari dito sa Barili.
Okay.
Anyway, si mami na ko magdaan siya mag newspaper pil-an na niya. Unya human, inigadto mo sa Dakit kay mo bisita man mi sa Dakit as often as we can. Ina ipakita ni Tito Benny nga, mo ni balita karon no. Mag-exchange og news na sila ba?
Okay.
So ang akong inahan gani nga ang grabe na kay ka vandalized ang newspaper ba dali underline.
Naka nagsulat-sulat.
Ano bitaw? Yung sa ako kuna siya paminaw niya nga it's important to me. Tanawon ni basahan ni dong mo ni balita about balita about nimo nya kunain naong nakarto ay balita. So
ipakita sa ni nako. So your mom actually collects the newspapers. Pero karon si with Jiggy, he just does the online version, e-version na.
E-version ako sa balita. So di na kuyawan sa ko. Akong gisultihan gid akong inahanan nga ma. Kaning atong balay ba, fire hazard man kay purting daghanang papel diri ba. Kaning kuan lang in taon ni. Murag sa may
it becomes junk na di.
Naman good kanang I think my mom is a
sentimental
hoarder.
Okay.
Hoarder ba kay sa balay. Jigay butang.
Jiggy, you're exposing your mom. You called her hoarder.
Oh, grabe jud kay
I think that's common with a lot of older folk, like a lot of old people. They're kind of sentimental, and kapoy naman said good to dish out everything. That's one thing. It's easy to keep acquiring later. Kapoy hipo sa tanan. At the end of the year na makabanteng ay nagkadaga naman ni.
I'm actually happy. I'm happy and sad for my mom being a hoarder ba kay kada mga picture nga nagdiaper pa ko akong buhok tuyom pa kay kaning
those should be kept.
Infant pa ko ba kanang papel gyud nga picture bitaw kompleto na akong mama na.
Okay, those should be kept, Jiggy. Wala ba social media sa una?
Mga love letters ako mga uya ba tong una?
Yang gipanghipos. Okay, that's funny.
Aligwi jud kay tanan astang
your mom is very sentimental.
Asta kanang pusod bitaw kanang unsa na kanang
umbilical cord?
Pa siya anang manginana ako. Okay, so
I didn't know you could keep that man day,
you
no?
You can put that in the album ang good.
Yeah.
Luod na kay tanang mo usay magtubo na magtubo nanay bata mo tubo lain ba.
A different child.
You just hope parehag naong nimo, di ba?
Ay nako. But no, I forgot people used to do that, no?
That's the good part.
But the photos, Jiggy, I understand why your mom would do that. Kaya wala ba yung social media? So like those are the only kind of core ano ba?
Onya karong mga panahon na kasab-an sa akong inahan kay na ako'y siya gisugo na ko long time ago, years ago nga na siya roll of film ba? Roll of film. Kanang film to sa camera ito sa Kodak ito.
You have to develop, di ba?
Ipa-develop niya. And then wala ipa-digitize niya ba? So kani nga nakinumdum ko nga ako tong digitize morag akong gi-scan unsa ba gipa printa na ko niya gi-scan gi-email na ko niya sa inbox iyang kaning email address niya ba. Pero wa siya kinumdum, wala sa ko nakabawas sa tong film. So kada adlaw nila kada kita gin bro asa nam to akong film dong 40 ra bito kabok murag 40 ka bok akong nakita nato murag 400 bito ka bok picture. Kamo na mas balik-balik.
Until now, so you gotta go look for it. Basta naara na sa iyang mga pile.
Mo na nga part sa iyang being a hoarder, that's a good thing. Nga mo keep siya og mga
mo preserve siya mga important things.
Pero mo sa lagi maabot sa lagi ang kanang high chair. Hinamno kan high chair pagka bata na pa sa balay. Kuno na arago na Justin ko ako ang high chair.
I think
na pa sa balay.
I think maybe your mom would like it would be nice if your mom could do a garage sale.
Dili ang kiyang ganahan
karong summer.
Maybe my mom is delusional and she thinks nga I'm an important person. Ya pag mahimo siya museum. Mahimo siya museum ba nga?
The Jiggy Juice Museum.
Di ba na may Magellan's Cross, di ba? Na po kaning
Jiggy's
high chair. Jiggy's high chair ana ba? So mo na pag duda ko mo na pagtuon ako sa akong inahan.
Okay ra. Why can I imagine that like
maghimo siya og museum siguro para sa tulon niya kamang anak ba.
Yeah. Why can I imagine like Bon or somewhere being the kanang museum guide to be like, and right here we have Jiggy Juice's umbilical cord all shriveled up. And if you look to your left, you'll see
his high chair.
His high chair.
My goodness.
Ay,
anyway, so
very relatable.
Yeah. Ikaw na kay kaila nga na kay parent or titang hoarder sa Justin na kay experience na hoarder.
Yeah, like my grandparents, my grandma's like that too. There was a time na there are times that we'd have to like sang word kanang maghabwa sa mga stuff, and then we find like a lot of old stuff before. Like in my dad's old room in his house, like I think they found yung old test papers. So that's, imagine how old that was, like since high school pa, like na ano na ba na keep away ra, or I think some of his stuff since, like yung toys since he was a kid.
Mga toys
because sometimes you give a lot away, but there are some nga, especially like the ones that were really special to him, kay naargid sa, it was kept in a special box or something like that. So yeah,
na ako yung mga fairy tales atong una kanang three little bears o niya Jack and the Beanstalk nga naa pa mga wiris nako, mga vandalism nako bitaw kay pa nakabata o kay buot ba.
Vandalism.
Agi hapon.
Oh yeah, because no one else would touch that man, and you know what, Jiggy, my grandpa, just side note, before he had a box of old Marvel comics from the 50s and 60s pa.
50s?
Yeah, like from his
Oh
youth.
my God. Asa naman na?
Ano bitaw siya, Jiggy? Gianay.
Oh my God.
We finally found it because he kept them all in plastic.
Lagi, may
Each of them naka-plastic pa, mga old comics.
Oh, so dili, wala nanay, kay plastic man.
It went inside.
No,
it went inside.
Di mo na makaog plastic.
It went inside, sadly.
Mo ba?
Yeah, it was a full box, a whole box good full of them. So, yeah, sayang. I would have just wanted to keep. That's like some vintage collection.
Mo lagi. Pero mo sa lagi, and the thing with
books?
preserving something ba, it also costs to preserve anything, right? Kana lang sapatos daan. Kung ganahan ka mo preserve, it has to be a certain kind of temperature. Kanang cigar, kung ganahan ka mo preserve sa cigar, it has to be in a humidifier. And wine, it has to be in a certain so mga butang nga ganahan ka ma-preserve. Even kanang mismo papel, di ba? Kanang ako daghan
photos.
Akong mama nag-keep man Dead Sea Scrolls tanaw nako dito sa balay. Moram to Dead Sea Scrolls na mga
What
papel.
is that? A what?
Dead Sea Scrolls.
Dead Sea Scrolls.
Mga papel, mga karaan na kayo ba? Kinanglan naman special temperature kung muumog ang lugar, madaot, ano bitaw. So it costs.
Actually, that's why I would like for my grandpa's stuff. When if I were to get my own house in the future, I really wanna have like a special room full of all his vintage or antique stuff. Kaya naman to siya typewriter. Nga he let me use.
Okay.
Pag pandemic, adik kay ko ato Jiggy saba lagi kay mo bala. Yeah, I just type a bunch of stuff, random stuff. Yeah. I got sick of it after a while because it's so huge and heavy and noisy.
Unsa nga brand sa typewriter?
I don't know, but dako kay na siya. Ingani ka dako, oh. It's really big.
Di mo na typewriter, mura man nagka-3.
No, it's a big typewriter. Dako siya nga typewriter, yeah.
High-tech so ng typewriter.
It was really cool.
And then, to sa high-tech siya at that time, di ba?
Oh, and then he also has, well, bag-ora man siya, gipalitan sa akong dad, pag pandemic also, a turntable.
Kanang
a record player, di ba?
Okay.
He had his old one naguba, so gipalitan na magbago, pero iyang mga records, old kaayo.
Okay.
So yeah, I don't know how to preserve those.
Singer ko nga brand sa typewriter. Singer
ang brand?
Di
ba ano man na? Kanang soy machine.
Kakaan, Mr. Tando Solo. May buntag ni mo da, Tando Solo.
Hi,
Napaka-spinas, bro. Nilarga na ka. Nakadungog ko nga mularga man ka. Anyway.
Out of the country.
Yeah, so muna siya.
Yeah. So guys, if you have any tips on how to preserve vinyl records, let me know because because the paper around it, the case niya, I feel like it's getting mauto yung gingon, nagkagisigamay, it's getting old. The records themselves are okay. Mao na ibutang mo siguro na siya case. There's like a special case for that, right?
Yeah, correct.
Like those records. So yeah, I'm hoping to do that and also to buy my own records. Are they called records? Vinyls.
Vinyl records.
Vinyl records. I want to collect my own pod.
Yeah. So na kinanglan certain kind of temperature so kanang mga vinyl records.
Oh no.
That's why if you really want to preserve stuff, like you've gotta know.
Airkunan, butangan og.
You gotta know. You gotta, I guess, prioritize, right? Because more like when does it become unhelpful? When does it become dangerous, di ba? You know what I mean? So kung nakakailan kayo mga butang surrounding your place, number one, you will not know where to find them. Mo gini atong
hazard.
It becomes a fire hazard. Mo gini atong attachment to things ba? You know what I mean? Like
that's why my hack Jiggy, when I'm cleaning stuff, don't think twice na. If you think within the first thought you don't need it, don't like haggle, don't argue with yourself na nga I don't need it, I need it. No, kung makathink ka nga I don't need this, ilabay din dito. So don't even look at like the box where you throw it in.
Yeah, but
nagduha-duha.
Makakita mo kausahay ng mga minimalist o kanang mga decluttering shows ba, diba?
I love those.
Diba kung ang kanang sanina lang dan, close ang dan, ang iyang rule ko I don't know if you agree with this, Justin. Iyang rule is kung wala na nimo gamita for 7 days or 7 to 10 days, pasabot na dili na gamito nimo. Depending sa gidaghanon sa imong sanina ba, but kung imong mga sanina kaning dili kay daghan ba. Pero kung maabot kung daghan kuno kag sanina, meaning to say like probably over 100 pairs of clothes ba. Ang iyang rule is kung wala na nimo gamitan for the past 30 days, pasabot na dili na nagyud na nimo gamiton. So ihatag na siya. Pahawa na sa imong closet.
Okay.
At least kung ibutang na nimo laing lugar nga dili na nimo gamiton. Kaya ako like magtanaw ko sa ang gamay ra man to akong closet sa, pero kanang mura naghuot nga mura nagmubuto bitaw tungod sa huot bitaw. So tanaw na ko tinuod gyud nga na may mga t-shirt diri, na may mga cansones diri, na may mga sweatshirt diri, mga sweater diri, mga polo diri nga wala ako gamita. So akong buhaton na akong technique ana. Kay na pa man akong closet sa ako ang balay sa Guadalupe. Dad-una na ako sa Guadalupe where I can put my clothes nga dili na ako magamit.
Okay.
Pero na
But then what happens when it's there? Like, dili sa nimo i-segregate,
Ako sang isulti sa akong inahan Ma, ihatag niya, hatag niya.
Hatag ni be.
Hatag na ko sa. 1 month after, nagyapon dito.
Jiggy, you're giving it to the wrong person. Dapat ikaw ang mo dispose, anak. Because you know that your mom was the funny thing is, you give it to your mom for her to dispose of it. Ano na siya, matipok na sa ibong house.
Pero mo lagi, for example, na kay t-shirt ba nga. For example lang, kanang ka-t-shirt ta, kaning, let's just say, mo'y gusto loob ni mo pag una nimong trabaho, for example. You got your job, your first job ever, wearing this shirt. So, because everything begins with a story.
Exactly.
This is all about the
story. You
story.
can be sentimental about every single thing, man. If you attach meaning.
There's nothing important and meaningful in life that does not begin with a story. Ganun istorya.
Yeah.
Anong tuom ka na? Kaya namin, istorya. Anong tuom ka? Ganun istorya. So, kanang t-shirt, this shirt was the shirt that I wore when I got the job or whatever. Kung nanguyab ko ato niya, mo niyang sudlay akong gigamit, sugot ko, whatever, right?
Yeah.
So kung dili ka strong,
if you're not
if you're not strong ba,
if you don't know how to
let go, this is really about letting go.
Then every single thing will be sentimental for you. Every single thing will be.
Mapuno na imong cabinet og mga t-shirt nga na story. Napagugoy high school nga intramural shirt na t-shirt
you know, that's funny.
Seniors.
This morning I saw someone walking in the street na ka-ID siya, so call center agent, pero yung gisulob kay PE shirt sa akong previous school. It's the old uniform when I was still in grade school. Kaya ni change man over time. Ang yung gisulob is katong old nga uniform. So nahibong ko kung basin schoolmate ni nako, I would know because I went to a very small school. Dili gid to siya schoolmate. So I don't know where that person got my PE uniform.
Gidonate to siya nga t-shirt.
Yeah.
Paghuman, siya gasulob.
Sa siya gusulob. Kaya sa schoolmate, di mo siguro. But yeah, when it comes to clothes, I always try to remember what Emma Watson, si Hermione ba from Harry Potter, she said that she's a ambassador for
minimalism or something?
Oh, something like that. Really? No, na siya mga ambassador for kanang sustainable living, something like that. Okay. And so she says, before buying new pieces of clothing, you always have to consider the ones that you already have. If you've worn them more than 30 times, then it's time for it to go. Or you can probably acquire more. But you have to consider, have I worn this garment for 30 times? And there are some clothes nga I've worn again and again. Di mo siguro maabot ko kapag 30. Unless years ago pa.
There's a certain kind of comfort and attachment and even beauty to things that are old. Na ako'y pair of jeans. I don't know, makigisulom doon ako last gahapon actually. Aligri na kayo, naka-istorya nimo. Excuse me, this same pair of pants ba? Grabe na kayo nakagisi-gisi.
Style.
Kada
over time.
Kada maybe every so often, iuli na nako sa Guadalupe sa akong
other cabinet.
Ang other cabinet dili akong ihatag sa akong inahan kay ipatahi nako sa among silingan nga kaning mananahi bitaw kanang tig-altar ba kanang mananahi ba. So grabe na jud kay sa kagisip nga sobra naka 20 ka tuig siguro nga pan siguro. Ana sa last week padung ko na ako'y gamay nga trabaho sa City Hall kaning gisulob to nako. Pag uli na ko sa balay, padaw na kong ilis ba? O parauran ba? My daughter, si Summer Rain, pointed out nga, Dad, unsa man yung lubot? Nakita naman na.
Nadaigisi.
Good enough nga, ako ang brief, blue.
Okay, pero match ra.
So, mura na siya, ang ako ang sweatshirt, top kay blue sad ba so ni match as colors akong brief
din buslot di ay
buslot yung dako like maybe 3 inches ba
so
I was walking around City Hall
super ripped
all
jeans.
Afternoon when nagisi sa ako ang lubot ang
sa lubot pag hindi mo makita
ang ako ang karsonis.
Yeah.
So, I'm still in the
good thing summer noticed that.
Mo na akong pasabot nga kanang daan nga pants, especially kung jeans, nindot kay na vintage kinatanawon kung daan. So na mga butang actually nindot sulubon kung daan.
And you're right about the comfort. There are some stuff that I do wear sa balay pod, mga t-shirts that I wear at home or other kanang pangbalay ng outfit. Makaana sad ko usahay akong like yesterday my grandma just told me that nga ano na oy kanang like not panghatagay sometimes they're kind of torn. No, like she says like you said give it to Paris kanang panggamiton ni Paris. Sometimes we use old shirts man as like Paris's little
Paris is
my chihuahua.
Chihuahua. So mo na hand me down sa imong chihuahua ihatag imong
Dili himuon og kanang little rag that they sit on ba. Kanang
ganahan mo ng iro na di
ba? Oh, kanang raglampin ba?
Smells like you, di ba?
Yes.
In fact, when I leave Cooper in a what do you call it, in a hotel, in a dog place, or katong hospitalized siya a few last year, you give them like a shirt nga you use para they can sleep
so
on
they
it.
could that's smart
because they can smell.
So it
smells like
you.
home. Smells like home for them.
Yeah. So mao na siya. My grandma would always say sad nga hatag na ni Paris. Uy, pero no, I don't wanna. There's something about like the pangbay. Comfy ba yung mga papangbalay? Okay ra if it's like, you know. And she's also one of the main reasons why it's gisi man said sometimes on like the lower parts of the garment. Like for example, kana mga shirts nga na yung mga gisi sa down. That's because of her. Kaya era man ang pangkiton when I carry her in my lap. So, yeah.
So kanang hand me down. Ikaw na kay little sister si Justin Narvios namin ni Jade Narvios. Is she the recipient of your hand-me-downs kung kanang mga gitubuan na nimo ihatag nimo ni Jaden or
sometimes if she likes it
lahi gid mo style gid nga
generally we have like different preferences of style but sometimes if she likes it like can I use this like yeah ako pud but I'm also like that with her if there's some of her clothes that are too big are too big for her she you know we trade we do a sister trade or like I don't really mind. I feel like that's the thing with siblings. You just use each other's stuff.
Yeah. Pero karon manggod grabe na jud kaayo ka kanang pauso-uso bitaw nga ang ang clothes karon murag barato kaayo unya paghuman ipanglabay lang
bitaw. Yeah, that's fast fashion.
Fast fashion ba?
Yeah.
So may tabuan na is very few people actually hang on to their clothes because
grabe man kaayo
gud naman ni uso kaning skinny jeans dili naman ni uso karon bukad naman sad.
So ang mass production that's one thing but on the other hand I also think it's like the mentality of like kanang consumerism nga mentality bitaw always wanting to acquire more and more and kay unsay mga trend karon
ito yung ginanila
yeah barato na sad kaayo karon there's so many outlets where you can get cheaper clothes online by bulk but so many so mao na siya magkadaghan magbalik-balik kan like you know, mo nang gingon fast fashion.
Ay termino na murag designed obsolescence. Murag that's probably the wrong term sa pero murag it's in the design. This just doesn't apply to clothes but to everything that we buy. Nga naagud siya design in such a way nga ma-obsolete siya eventually. Kanang pareha ng iPhone, kanang cellphone, di ba?
Designed obsolescence. So it's actually not meant to be preserved or to last long. It's meant to just pang replace.
Kanang auto, kanang na sila certain number of years ang ilang life niya. After na murag sige na kaguba, blah blah blah. Kanang refrigerator, nobody builds something for sale and then it'll last forever. Kaya wala yung negosyo. So it's part of the design of the thing
to
nga madaan gid
to be
ma-obsolete gid or maguba or that's even worse, maguba. So mo na siya nga kita sa Pilipinas diba suito makitag mangayog mga butang. For example kanang sa Amerika ilabay na pero sa Pilipinas ayuhon.
Yeah, as much as you can. As much as you can.
Diba?
I'm like that ba yeah? Like especially like I mentioned earlier when I go to my grandparents' house if there's something that they have that I want kay I'll ask for it. Pare atong typewriter. Ni-ask it, can I have this? Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Pero mo andar mga typewriter.
It still works now, yeah.
Wow,
actually, my brother bought me like a new set of ribbons for it. Para sa ink. Wala lang ako na gamit ever since pandemic. Kay heavy lagi. And it's so noisy.
Nindot ka ng, what do you mean by noisy?
Noisy yung chak, chak. Yung sound ba? Chak, chak, chak. It's really loud.
Hono na karagod ang mga writer atong una.
I feel like that's also part of the process ba. And it's different. I can't imagine having to like focus and write a story and have all that noise. Pero
well, the noise is just kaning a small part of it.
Yeah, what if
just the part na you have to make sure nga you key in the right words otherwise sayop.
Exactly.
Ugaw kay di ba? Unya so karon magud type ka niya Pwede mo
copy-paste.
Imo lang i-back, diba? Or i-X na mo, mapapasa din, diba? Copy-paste, diba?
Exactly.
So imagine like the deliberateness, the intention ba. Lahi gid siguro ng writer atong una sa.
Yeah, actually, my mom said kaabot siya sa time in high school but or in college na your essay submissions have to be without erasures kay white ink raman na kung masayop ka. So I said, so how do you do it? She said, you have to retype the entire thing. I'm like, what if you're already on your 5th page? She said, you probably could retype that 1 page lang or kanang no good. Kanang ano man gid na minus man gid na mo points or di dawato no sahay. Oh my god, that's so crazy. I can't imagine that.
Kapoy ka ng typing. So naami typing class man sa Kwanza sa San Carlos atong una ba. Unya sa atbang sa San Carlos na ay mga typist. Kabakibaw ka na?
No.
So atbang sa San Carlos na ay mga typist. So kung naa kay project
they type for you.
Ipa-type lang nimo.
So you write it on paper and then you have them type it for you.
You write
That's smart.
You write on paper pag may ipa-type lang nimo. So na mga typist dito nga
Anya allowed rin na sa school.
Tag 5 man siguro tag 10 man siguro ang pitch allowed na sa school.
Okay.
This was but this was extra frustrating to me and to most of the students back then because we were already in the brink of computerization, but we already were aware of computers and all of that stuff, but wala pa may access. Maybe it's too expensive or it's not available.
Or the schools didn't employ that, but didn't use it for students.
Or you couldn't afford it back then. You know, if you're if you're a middle income family, you can't afford a computer back then. Kaya porti mang malas computer to na mas eskwelahan na maka-afford ito una, di ba? Tagsara kayo na personal computer. Kuha nakikasiga na kayo na computer. So, marag frustrating kayo puya ning typing. Uy nga dili nam ta kay di ta ni kinahanglan mag-typing pero we have no choice, right? So magpa-type ka og typist sa San Carlos. I think that
typist, okay.
I think that still exists. I think nagyapon
typist. I'll ask around if na ba mga typist, no, pero I doubt it na gid. So, and one of the things I feel like I would hate about if I was, a student at that time, ganahan ko mag-study and note how I say it twice. Note how I say it.
Sa atong kultura kung kaduhaon gali pasabot ana
dili kayo.
Tiyaw lang. Tiyaw ra.
I don't want to make it sound like I study. No. Kaya ganahan ko magbasa-basa, study in cafes.
Okay.
Or like, I love going to cafes or like mga lobby. So then imagine having to bring a whole like a whole typewriter. Doing your work in public, pero ting sa baa, pero ting sa muka. So I can't imagine like you have to you can only work on your stuff when you're at home. I like how now with technology you can work anywhere, anytime, even through your phone. Pwede na ka mag-type, mag-imog sa imong mga projects on your phone. So what do they say? We have come a long way.
Yeah.
What a journey.
We've come a long way, man.
From typists.
Yeah, and then we don't appreciate that. We don't appreciate how lucky we are, because naandan man ni nato, diba? Kanang, for example, those that are kanang, what do you call them? Millennials. Those that are internet natives, they call it, right? Nga natao sila, they don't know any other way but to be online, right? Wa sila kasabot nga there was a time nga wala na internet.
Yeah, exactly. Me and my classmates, we often say that bagi unsa ka ni nila sa una, no? Like atong mga judge baga that are teaching us, no, kani sila mga judge. They tell us gid nga makaingon si me, they're right. They say, you know what? Back in our day, there was only a few copies of these specific cases in the library. So dapat mauna kag borrow ana when you get this kanang Supreme Court nga ruling nga ana. Karon with a click of kay tanan, it's at your fingertips. Naara gid na, you don't have to fight for resources kung biton siya. And now, wa ka kasabot sa term, pwede ra nimo
Google.
AI to understand concepts. Kami kay I was thinking grabiha before, no? Like I don't know how they did it, kid. I don't know how our teachers did it, our profs, but mo ni magiingon. It's an adjustment for us. Murag more ulan siguro, no?
Ang ato ang takna karon 41 minutos ang device sa alas 10. You're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And my name is Justine Narvios.
Kung ganahan mo join sa amo ang gamay nga chika-chika diri. I-text lang mi good. Ano seryoso gma. Text lang po, di ba?
Yeah.
0962.
Oh, we got a new number?
This is because this one doesn't work, so I'm just using my own personal number.
Okay.
0962 746 3537 mo ka nang ato ang text number if you want to join us in our conversation. Ang akong ganan istorya anong karong buntaga, Justin. Kaning ilang love story ni insingan ani niya. ni katubitong si Philmar.
Oh,
Og
ang gwapo nga.
gwapo nga taga Siargao nga si Philmar.
Si Andy Eigenman.
Nakakita ra ba ko ana nilang duha kay pirmi man ko sa
Like you saw them good
in person, yeah, nakakita pirmi ko makita nila especially katong mga surfing competition. Unya kani nga nagbuwag ni sila niya gipasangin lang katong Amerikana tong
actually, I
nationality.
don't know.
Unsay nationality ato niya?
I haven't read up on that,
Murag
no?
taga Denmark, Danish pa to siya, murag Danish to siya.
Ako ka read up on that, to be honest.
Basahan na siya, Justin.
Nakadungog ko, my mom and dad were talking about
it. Sige, ato nang istorya, time out. Atong isigutan ko ng buntaga, kay human naman ang ato ang national news headlines, unya, atong basahan, atong local news headlines karon taod na po tayo mga amiga nga moabot diri karon mo tong buntaga silang Gitamondok, silang Jude.
Yep, they're on their way.
Atong waton sila, ato nang isigutan karon while waiting for them. But before that, pwede ko mangihi kayo, Justin. Okay ra? Pwede ra? Okay
Pwede ra, guys.
Okay ra, mawiwi sa ko.
Alright.
On 105.1 TMC.
The best of us.
Experience at New Star's finest restaurants: Philly Lobby Lounge, Philly Cafe, G Chandi, 132, Lang D, Il Primo, Vita, and Axis. With especially crafted Valentine's menus for a night to remember. For more intimate yet memorable moments, enjoy an exceptional 5-course dinner for 2 at Level 5 Pool Bar, Philly Hotel, complete with welcome drinks and captivating sounds of live music. Make your Valentine's celebration unforgettable only at New Star. Reserve your tables now for increase. Please visit newstar.ph or call 032-888-8282. Local Crowd Productions, Tops, and TMC. Present Journey to Tops live. Journey to Tops with Journey frontman Arnel Pineda, featuring the
Nagkakaroon 48 minutos nang nilabay sa alas 10. 12 more to go before 11 o'clock. You're listening to Top of the Morning. I'm your host. My name is Jiggy Juice.
And my name is Justine Narvios. Top of the Morning, guys.
Ang atong isgutan karong buntaga is in our brand new segment we call Love on Top. That's right. Kaning love story nila ni Philmar and Andy Eigenman. Kani sila to set the stage is idol kay ni nato sila kay these are the guys who, especially si Andy Eigenman, who is like a celebrity actress, right? Who let go and gave it all up to live the life that we, at least me, and maybe perhaps you, Justin, want nga. Chill na lang sa Siargao, di ba?
Life in Siargao. Island girl life.
Live the island life in Siargao. Is if you guys have been to or have heard of Siargao, you know the vibe. The vibe there. It's not even about the beaches, because the beaches there are quite ordinary and pedestrian. In fact, you can see many beaches that look like Siargao. It's probably the waves there. The waves there, but because that's where all the surfers go all over the world. But it's really the vibe of the people. Anyway, so karon, after how many years are they together? Si Andy ug si Philmar nagbuwag ni sila. Nya naay kunoy gitawag nila og third party. So unsa may istorya ni Justin, pasabta kuno unsa may nahitabo ani nila ni Philmar og ni Andy Eigenman ngano man silang nagbuwag man sila. Go ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I haven't really read up on this until now.
Okay, go ahead.
Pero kanang what I heard around
kasi mama na.
Oh, what I heard around, like also my friends were saying.
Okay.
I don't know what their sources were, but apparently this third party is a close friend of both of them.
Okay.
It's like and she was somewhat like the best friend of Philmar.
Okay.
And whenever they would have issues, si Andy and Philmar, he would run to this best friend, and she would often encourage them to.
Kaning kinsingano na niya?
Oh my God, Pernilia.
Si Pernilia lang. Si Pernilia lang ang apelido niya.
Okay.
Taga Disam na siya.
She's Swedish.
Swedish.
Yeah.
Taga Swedish massage place na siya. Asa na siya? Asa man na sa Sweden?
Oh no.
Sweden.
Oh no, not Swedish, because she's from Switzerland. So Swedish. She's
Swedish.
My bad. Okay.
From Sweden?
Yeah.
Or mo tawag taga Switzerland?
I don't know. It just says she's Swedish, so I don't know exactly like where siya mismo. But that's her nationality.
Okay, Swedish.
Okay, so I'm gonna read an article from Philstar.
Okay. Philstar is not a newspaper. It's a Philmar, you mean?
No, Philstar Global.
Philstar. Oh,
Yeah.
Dili tagya si Philmar ng Philstar.
News about Philmar in Philstar.
Okay, sige, way labot.
Okay, so this is from Andy. Let's listen to her side.
The side of Andy Eigenman. Go ahead.
Right. So this is from yesterday lang.
Okay.
So it's the article is entitled "My Husband Never Cheated."
Okay.
Andy Eigenman explains cryptic Instagram
Okay.
posts. Andy Eigenman denied cheating allegations involving her surfer husband, Philmar Alipayo, in a freshly posted Instagram story on Sunday or Saturday afternoon. The actress first clarified about her earlier posts that some online users thought alluded to cheating. She mentions, I am fully aware that my husband never cheated on me with this girl. I am always around when they are together. So yeah, Andy knows this Pernilio girl. She's a friend of Andy's as well. Andy began not revealing the name of the woman in the issue.
Okay.
Andy, who is now based in Siargao with Philmar and their kids, revealed the reason why she posted the series of cryptic Instagram stories early Saturday morning. She also added details to their marital life and how the unidentified woman who she called a friend affected it.
Okay.
She mentions, I posted because this person betrayed me, encourages my husband to break up with me during every fight, when I also tell my side of the story to her.
Okay.
She also commented...
Friends na niya day.
Friend niya.
Common friend nila.
So, manang gingon, she's aware daw that her husband never cheated on her.
Okay.
Kay pirmi daw niya kuyog ang kaning bayhan na inig na daw.
Bayhan na ni.
Oh, inig yung
Bayhan na
bana po. Pero this woman would always encourage daw Philmar nga buwagin na na
Buwagin na siya.
Every time they would have
may maoy diha buwagin na
issues.
Philmar.
So not necessarily cheating, but there's still, she still feels like this person is a traitor.
Okay.
She also commented on the spontaneous love couple tattoo between Philmar and the woman whose identity was leaked by netizens with photos of their identical tattoos.
Okay. Unsa man ang 224 na tattoo nila?
Oh,
What does that mean? What's a 224?
I have yet to check. So she says she did not honor my side by choosing to celebrate her and my husband's love for each other, because the day after I fight, she inserted herself in the situation by encouraging him to go for a spontaneous love couple tattoo together. Agoy.
224 tattoo symbolize love, connection, and gratitude.
So is that like an angel number, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So this is where the issue is at, Jiggy.
Okay.
According to Andy, wala niya gi-honor yung side. This woman wasn't a truthful and a genuine friend to her, because the day after nag-away sila ni Philmar, she inserted herself into the relationship daw and told Philmar nga man kuhatag spontaneous love.
What's the pasabot ng inserted into the relationship? What do you mean?
Meaning ang argument supposedly is just
between
Andy and
Philmar, okay, and then
but it doesn't make things better that naay
singit
naay nagsigig sa a third party keep trying to instead of encouraging Philmar to just either break up or work things out with Andy, nag-encourage siya nga, you know what, let's get a spontaneous love tattoo for whatever reason that they get that. Maybe it's to like profess their love for each other.
Or their friendship. Perhaps, right?
I don't know. In her statement here, she calls it a spontaneous love couple tattoo. That's 2 words. That's love and couple.
Okay.
That can't be denied.
So nagbuwag na ni sila? Wala pa.
I don't know, but she said so.
Whatever the intentions were, they got a tattoo together, and then
right. Andy said that she reached out to the woman for an explanation
for
the identical tattoos, but the woman ignored her.
Okay.
The actress admitted that she was hurt by Philmar's decision not to consult her regarding the tattoos.
Okay.
She says, and I quote, "The post was just to show that no normal person with good intentions would think it's okay for a friend to encourage someone else's husband to do this without considering the partner's feelings, especially after I told her that even if we were in a bad fight, I would always want and choose to be okay with my husband because he is my family."
Okay.
The actress said that she should have listened to her friend's advice to stay away from her when they warned her. And she also noted that she should have called it out the first time, and her husband saw the and that she and her husband saw the identical tattoo on the woman, calling it weird. So yeah, grabe. So she posted lahi na gid ang way before, Jiggy, if people wanted to have a statement known, the press would chase them. Excuse me, media would chase them, right?
Okay.
And ask for a statement. Karon, we don't need to do that. These influencers, as we learned from Maris Racal and what's his name? The dude's name.
The eraser guy?
Anthony Jennings guy.
Okay.
From that nowadays people ang ilang way of pahungawing the way that people know about what's going on is it's as simple as posting on their Instagram stories na. Wala na contact someone in the media, try to get a word out. No? So
sila na mismo ang source sa balita mao na sila mismo
Yep.
mo publish
From the source. So now Andy
PR dili na kanilang distribution, di ba?
Right. So she posted
Ang
a series
mo distribute
of
na
Instagram.
si ko lang si Mark Zuckerberg lang mo distribute para ninyo.
Or-
Nya ganahan mas Mark anang mga inana. Si migo man kay ming Mark Zuck.
Ah,
I call Zaki, I call him Zaki.
Mark
si Zaki kanang kung na kay istorya ibutang lang sa akong kuan ba akong Facebook ako li bahala ako li bahala kata na sayon na kinasanan.
Yeah. So
login lang ko gan mga Facebook.
So let's see how Zaki was able to help not only on Andy's side, but now let's look at Pernilia. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, guys. It's Swedish.
Swedish, di ba? Kanang taga Switzerland, ang tawag nila Swiss. So kanang Swedish, taga Sweden na sila.
Oh, okay.
So manay nag-ibinto sa Swedish massage.
My bad. Okay.
So
Pernilia, this is from Inquired.net.
This is the common friend of Philmar and Andy. These are her statements. Go ahead.
So, ingon si Pernilia, she breaks silence on Andy Eigenman and Philmar Alipayo's alleged split.
Okay.
Pernilia, a Swedish woman believed to be the third party in alleged split of Andy Eigenman and Philmar Alipayo, broke her silence as she appealed to the public to be kinder. She made headlines after posting a photo of herself with Philmar Alipayo getting matching 224 tattoos, which supposedly meant today, tomorrow, and forever. Eigenman then made several posts about being stabbed during the Year of the Snake, although she didn't address the Swedish woman in particular. In a follow-up Instagram story, the actress claimed that Alipayo was not unfaithful to her, though she accused the woman of allegedly betraying her. So, mao nang giingon ni Andy, she cleared it out nga Philmar never cheated on her, pero iyang clear out pod is this woman is a traitor to her. Yeah, they're all friends, man. And so her point is, no one in the right mind, no good friend ever would encourage someone else's husband to get a matching tattoo with her amidst an argument. So yeah. This led to the Swedish woman addressing the issue on her Instagram account. So Instagram na po, like, ang reply is through Instagram. She stressed that she's still a human who experiences pain, and then she set her account to private.
Not much because she likes tattoos.
So, dili kayo sakit. Okay na lang. No, she experiences pain, pero okay lang tattoo.
Okay.
So, she made her Instagram on private, and she
so unsa may intention ni kising ano niya
Pernilia.
So
Pernilia states, I just don't understand why some people have so much hate in their minds and bodies. I hope that if you ever make a hurtful comment, you can still sleep peacefully at night and smile knowing you've caused some pain. I'm still human din naman. Oh, na Tagalog pa.
Maganda pala ka.
Maganda pala ka. Napay Tagalog. I'm still human din naman.
Human din naman.
Napay din naman.
Okay.
I still feel hurt, and when it's too much, it cuts deep. So mao nang gipost niya. I hope you never become the reason someone cries themselves to sleep or questions their worth, asking why they weren't good enough.
There's no explanation lagi of what happened to them.
This is exactly what she said lagi in her story. We're all going through something. Can we at least try to be kinder to one another? Naman. Oh my God.
But also I feel like that statement is kind of empty.
I don't know. I mean, no harm to others. If you will be kind to me, and I assure you that I'll be kinder to you, never judge someone without knowing the whole story. You may think you understand, but you don't. So she's her plea rather is to ask people to be a little bit more open-minded and not be too quick to judge.
Okay.
Especially because they don't know the full story.
So what's the full story? So what's the side of Philmar? Na article si Philmar
Let's
wala.
read Philmar's.
Na siya side of the story kay kuha man siya. Love nahog manig presumed love triangle, right?
Yeah, let's see.
Okay, numdum lang kato akong interview gahapon katong si Zach si Jared West ba katong
our guest.
The Voice Australia contestant ba nga ingon siya nga polyamorous kuno siya atong una pagtuo niya polyamorous siya basic polyamorous ni silang
really he mentioned that?
Yeah, he was polyamorous.
What does that mean gani?
In fact ingon siya nga prevalent kuno kana sa Australia ang kanang polyamory kana bang
which is
kana you can feel deep love and affection with more than one person. You can be romantically
so
in love,
like a polygamous relationship.
Oh yeah, nga.
I feel like that's such a Western concept.
But it has to be the both parties have to know about of each other.
So it's consented
anyway,
polygamy.
I'm just thinking maybe they have an agreement of some sort. Anyway, so please continue. What's the story?
So I'm looking now. I'm looking for like if Philmar had
Okay.
so far wala man kanina man gid si Andy Aigen man ang nag-say og statement.
So wala statement si Philmar. Kaya morag mahog man siya gwaysa ani, di ba? Si Philmar, siya he looks like he's the innocent one, right? Morag wala man ang initially hindi atake niya.
To be honest, if there's someone who needs to make a freaking statement, it should be him.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for him. Like, come on, see Andy said something, the other girl said something.
But I'm curious, Justin, why do you need him to make a public statement? He can just fix it offline, right?
Yeah, he doesn't need to, but I feel like
you want to because you're hungry for more information, right?
Yeah, I want to hear his side. Was that good?
Okay.
Not that it's support the pair. At the same time, I also feel like, based on my personal opinion, if your wife is out there putting herself on the line,
But putting herself on the line, meaning to say,
making a statement,
properly doing it because
addressing his. She did. She defended him.
Because I don't think it's appropriate to do it online in the first place. Like,
well, for me,
whatever it was, you can fix it off.
She defended him online.
But he was defending him from her previous statement nga na misunderstood sa mga tao, di ba?
Actually, Jiggy,
it sounds like it. Murashik, she's trying to explain herself further.
I think, Jiggy, the thing with social media now that people don't understand is that most of these people who make statements, it's not to fix issues. That's the misunderstanding. A lot of people be like, why are you posting that? That doesn't fix anything.
Yeah.
It's not to fix. Yeah. Sometimes it's to save face.
Yeah. So, or more than that, I think over that, ako lang theory,
Yeah.
Patagad na gyud. Patagad na gyud. They just need the attention, right? Katong statement sa Swedish girl, that was a bunch of nothings, man.
It kind of was.
Mura ni sakay lang siya ba? You know what I mean?
No, like if you had to say something, she just tried to say something na lang.
Yeah, so and then si Andy og si what's her face, si Andy og si Philmar, like they became famous because of social media. They became famous because of making statements like that, right? So kani siya, this is still part of the whole ruse.
Right.
This is part of the whole
the whole show.
The whole show. So,
no, but that's why I feel like if there's someone who needs to make a statement now, it's gotta be Philmar.
Yeah.
Kay nagpakao naman, Andy already said her piece, and I feel like it's not to fix things. Ang question mo is, ngano magbutang man na si Philmar statement, maka-fix man siya without a statement. The point of the statement is not to fix things. I feel like it's to save face and it's to protect Andy. Dapat mo say siya something.
Yeah.
Kay Andy ba protected him by saying, I want to clarify, my husband never cheated
but
on me.
At the end of the day, if they're really the people that they really are, and they're not really narcissistic, and they're not really up for just attention for social media likes and views, right? They can fix it on their own offline.
They should.
And then make a statement after if it's fixed or not. You know what I mean?
That's also good.
You know, like don't think about your social media lives first. Fix it down there first at that level.
Yeah. Okay, guys, that's a good lesson.
But if you're not a social media monster, if you're not a person that relies on social media to get your high, to get your fix, to get your maybe panginabuhisan nila. Maybe they make their income from social media. Maybe they make income from statements like this, right? Maybe they make income from drama, right?
So that's also part of their,
So kita ra po gisud sa bulsa ning mga hinampak, di ba? Basig post-post sa diha para lang ta ma-engage, basig na board, basig hinin ng engagement na to, mag-away tabi. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we never know because I was watching an episode of Incognito.
Have you seen Incognito?
That? It's a new Filipino series.
Netflix.
It's on Netflix.
Netflix.
It's a ABS-CBN series.
Okay.
Starring, and one of the stars there kay si Anthony Jennings o si Maris Racal.
Oy, sila starring?
They're one of the big cast members there together
oh my God,
with
really?
Daniel Padilla. Together
with si
Andre Anthony Jennings o si Maris Racal.
Artista din ni si de?
Artista siya. Remember the whole point was when his girlfriend came out, he cheated on her while nag-lock-in shooting sila.
Ang
it's
girlfriend
for this project.
Ang girlfriend ay dili artista di ay.
Ang girlfriend ay artista.
Okay. Anyway,
so mauna nagka-close si Anthony Jennings si Maris Racal.
Anyway, what about Incognito?
So it made me think ba, naanak ko sa akong mom nga, grabe ni si Anthony Jennings, no? Like, sikat man kaya na siya nga series. Baron, guys, they're all big names, okay?
Nisikat sila before what happened or after what happened?
Maris Racal is already sikat. But I'm also saying, like, he's given that big opportunity.
Si Rico Blanco dito ang young girl, ex-girlfriend. Ex-boyfriend.
Akong point is, but given the heat, it's been so bad that companies like Mang Inasal had their billboard taken down at one site because it was representing most of them.
Kanang magban-ban part sa na silang ruse, part sa na silang drama, part magpatagad sa
Apil-apil.
kung apil-apil ka og kaning na drama diya
Insert us.
magbanban magcancel saka para mura kang you seem to be relevant.
No, you're taking a side.
Yeah, and you taking a side. Marelevant ka ba?
So
Marelevant
despite
ka.
that issue ni anak ko sa mom grabiha, no, sikat gyapon ni sila, no, like, you know, like right now that shows a hit.
Yeah.
Nice sa iyang cinematography and the storyline actually. Nga na sa akong
In fairness, right?
So it makes sense, but like it makes me wonder what if that whole thing was just a publicity, like
correct.
What if it was just to also amp up the show? Because whether or not they were hated, you know, people hated Anthony Jennings and Marissa Cal. It doesn't matter. They've got a show out on Netflix. It's streaming.
Yeah.
Like who cares about the comments?
Correct,
So,
yeah.
mauna siya.
You really don't know exactly what's going on, right? You don't know what's happening.
You don't know what's
Yeah.
going on. So I don't know. I think it's a call to all the kita as the netizens, as
Yeah.
the mga fans nila, as the mga people in the background who are not in show business. It's up to us now, and we must have that sense of awareness that
Yeah.
there could be this
We-
veil.
Skeptical. I think that's very important. You have to be skeptical. You have
Skeptical is
you,
the word.
You have to see what maybe
What could be going behind,
Maybe
going on behind
they're
the
like
curtain.
10 steps ahead of us. You don't know what the hell's going on, right?
Yeah.
So
Oh.
anyway,
Oh.
it reminds you of Incognito, the TV series featuring Andrew Jennings and
Anthony Jennings
and Marisa Racal.
They were so hated before the series was out. It was such a
and
heated,
then-
topic, so loaded because of what happened.
And then
Pero
nisikat sila.
Sikat ra magyapon ng series.
Yeah.
So like it's not like life's gonna stop. You know what I mean?
Mm.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Mm.
It's not like the entire cast is gonna suffer and they weren't gonna release the show
Correct,
just
yeah.
because everyone hated them.
Mhm.
So I feel like time went by so quickly. It was just a couple months ago, right? Maybe a month or two when we were also talking about that here in the studio, and now we're talking about the I know what are they called? The Island family. That's that's what they call themselves. Sila Andy Eigenman and Fillmore. So yeah, I'm kind of like waiting for. I wonder if he's gonna say something. I hope he does because I kind of want to hear his side.
Yeah, kanang celebrity man good. At least the way that we view celebrity now is totally different from back then, right?
Why?
Kay karon,
How
like
is that
if you're a celebrity now, if you do something bad, that means that you did something that offended other people, right?
If you did something
bad,
bad,
that means
it was something that offended
other people, right? In a way, diba?
Okay.
In a way.
That's before and now.
Generally speaking,
Okay.
like you need something, you do something bad, it offends other people. But see, the thing is, because we're so divided now, because we are clustered in divided in bubbles, but we're all like in our own bubble. Posible nga katong nilad imo ang gibuhat na mang uban nga mo agree ato. You know what I mean? So tungod sa ka-divided nato because of social media, katong gidaghanon sa mga tao nga ni disagree or ni tuo nimo, that's enough for you to become famous. That's
Yeah.
enough number of people to make you famous.
You know
No,
what? Bad publicity
it's
is
still good publicity as long as you know
How
what
to use
to
it.
do with it.
Yeah. That reminds me of a scene from one of my favorite films from Baz Luhrmann, Elvis, the film.
Okay.
So it's like what is that? It's like the life story of Elvis Presley.
Biopic, yeah.
A biopic.
Oh.
Okay. So that's what it's called, right?
A biopic, yeah.
Okay.
A literal bio picture, like a biofilm, yeah.
Biopic. Okay. So according to that show, na part dito, rather a scene nga the manager of Elvis Presley, di ba maghimo man na sila merch for the fans. I Heart Elvis. And then he also made a batch of merchandise that was for the haters. Hey, boom, mamang, why are you making pins and shirts that says
Wow,
I hate
genius,
Elvis?
right?
Hey, Shang, because any publicity is good publicity. I can still make money off this. As much as there are people who love your son and who are gonna buy the merch to support him, they're also haters. So I'm also gonna feed them. So for those haters, malipay kay sila kay yes, makapalit tag merch to hate on Elvis, but they don't know they're all being toyed with. In the end, they're all paying to the same manager who you know, like in the end, but so it makes me think that sometimes we're all in a circus, right? No, like whether you're a hater of someone, whether you agree with a particular issue. Ano raman ta, gituyok-tuyok
Giduan na ta.
giduan. So maybe with all these things, no, especially with like with this news ni Andy Eigenman
Okay.
and Fillmore, what if ano rata jigi? What if
Giduan-duan na ta.
giduan rata?
I have a funny feeling that we are just being toyed with. I have a feeling that mura sila conductor ba? Nga ganahan tag outreach gamay diri magbugbuwag ta bay. Magbugbuwag ta kani
That's
Andy.
funny. That's
Whatever,
that's
right?
a funny ano.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think you have to be skeptical when you read something on social media.
Yeah.
And
Don't
tanawa
be gullible. Don't believe everything that you read.
Ayog tuo dayon. Di ba? Ayog tuo dayon. siguro sa tinuod siguro ng uban na, di ba? I'm sure not all news is fake. Not every person is as sinister as these people or some people, but nasa giuban nga ilang tuyo gyud is engagement ra gyud. Kibaw man gud sila.
Well, we can't blame them. That's the industry that they're in.
Mo man silang
That's
panginabuhi.
literally how they make money.
Yeah.
That's literally their
Yeah.
job. Their
Correct.
job is to get views, is to get engagements, to
Yeah.
get people to listen to them. And sadly, we're suckers for that.
Yeah.
As we're suckers for that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're gonna have to, as Jiggy says, be a little bit more aware, be skeptical, try not to be as gullible.
Yeah.
It is entertaining though. I'll give them that.
Correct,
I
correct.
won't deny that.
Mm.
It's very entertaining. So yeah, keep posted, guys. And that's why, as much as we talk about everything and anything under the sun here at Tops Media Center, specifically at top of the morning, but as Jiggy said, we have to tackle these kind of things because although these are just like chika-chika lang, mga news.
Pero I think a bigger question here needs to be asked, Justin. Kanang naa kay relationship, okay ra ba nga naa kay ang imuhang bana or imong asawa na ay best friend?
Tan tan tan.
Best friend nga
Kani.
opposite sex. Okay.
Oh, perfect. I feel like
but
in the love month, Jiggy,
Yeah.
this is a very this is
Correct.
part of her love on top.
love on top, yeah.
question, no?
Okay ra ba na nga na ay best friend, BFF nga opposite sex,
Let's
right?
have that also for like Onisay to Subo.
Yeah, yeah.
But let's like answer it real quick now, and
Yeah.
then we'll have it again as an
Yeah,
Onisay.
correct,
I
yeah.
want to get everyone's opinion on this too.
Kung-
So the question
kung
is,
ganahan mo appeal sa among istorya ganong buntaga regarding Andy and Filmar and
Pernilia,
the Swedish girl,
Swedish massage.
Swedish massage girl, is simply join us at Tops Media Center on sa tawag gani, on YouTube. Tops Media Center on YouTube. Okay? Unya pag humansad, you can text me. Naman tayo text number. Asa naman ni katang ha? Hold on, give me a second. Akong telepono murag na ringing off the hook, murag ganahan kay ang mga tao mo apil-apil aning istorya gyud in town.
That's great.
Oh my goodness, and someone 0962. I want you to join us, guys, because this is a very interesting conversation. 0962 746 3537. Text us or join us on YouTube at Tops Media Center. Join us in our conversation. Kanang managtiayon ba? Girlfriend, boyfriend, or nag-asawa?
That's what it's called, managtiayon.
Couple ba? Okay,
sounds cool.
okay ra sila nga na sila best friends nga the opposite sex. Pero I think sayop man na siya nga
Ganotion?
pa-phrase siguro kay possibly man nga gay ka or lesbian ka. Diba? Possibly po.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
imong best friend kay parehan mo gender nimo. So, I think let's just make it a more fair statement.
okay.
Is it okay
For
for you
For couples
for
to
couples to have best friends? I think that's the better question, right? Nganong dili man?
Personally-
Nganong dili man, right? Para na ako nganong dili man? Sa may nang best friend.
It depends.
Right?
Personally, it really depends kay
Yeah.
you
But that's why it's
it
a
really
question.
depends.
That's why you can't answer it depends because the question is for you, Justin. It's for you, listener. Like ikaw personally, is it okay to have your couple, your partner, to have a best friend that is better than you?
no. Better than me, no.
Better than
Because I believe like when you're in a relationship with someone, that person that you're in a relationship with or you, should be your best
Best
friend,
friend.
should
Really?
be your partner. Yeah. You can have friends, close
Okay,
friends,
okay.
to the point that they even have a familial relationship with you.
Okay.
Like almost like a cousin or a brother to you, Ana. Pero your best friend should be your partner. And I feel like the issues would there's always an issue with having a best friend other than your partner. Your partner should be the person that you're most transparent and honest with. That's my personal belief lang.
Okay,
ha, and
okay.
I think that's also the way I've been raised with my parents also.
Okay.
Because we've had this conversation with them as well.
You can't. So
My parents man good best friends sila.
okay.
So I remember my mom was also pissed because there was this some other girl that is a friend of my dad's that would claim nga best friend siya sa akong papa.
Okay.
Yeah, my mom and dad, I remember they would joke about it. My mom would say nga buang nang tawa. Why would she say she's your best friend? And my dad was like, that's not true because both of them firmly believe that your partner should be your best friend.
Wow.
Although you have other friends, close friends, but when I feel like that title magod best
Okay.
friend when you're in a relationship, You shouldn't have another best friend.
Friendship manggod, I think, is different from
Relationship.
romantic relationship, di ba?
So why would you call it friend,
Yeah,
best friend?
like for example, I'll give you an example. Na kay classmate sa grade school.
Okay.
Best friend mo hangtod karon. Right? Yeah, like naminyo ka or na kay uyab like unsa may naana? Like babae siya pag before ka nataw, before ka naabot sa iyang before ka nataw maybe manghod nimo imong partner, right? Naana ni siya. So nganong what's the fuzz?
I think it has to do with
So I will force myself to become your best friend. Someone like
I think it's like the nature of relationships is that you the nature of relationships is you actually rank people in your life, and it's like
rank people in your my god.
That's really
that's a horrible way of looking at it.
No, that's the true nature of relationships.
That sounds so transactional. That sounds so
it does.
Rigid, right?
Okay.
Like
Muragut sa ta, we're just things to be ranked.
Yeah, mura siya kaning hierarchical, right? That's
but that's
sounds
the
so,
reality of life.
No, that's your wait a minute. Let me stop you right there. I think that's your story. That's your story, right?
My perception
that's
of
your
it.
that's your narrative, right? That's your story. So in your narrative, in your world, hierarchy, ranking people in order of
categorization of relationships, they're important.
But you're talking about ranking people based on their importance. Can you imagine that? You're ranking not so when you do this to your close ties, your family, your relationship.
It sounds like you only need...
It should apply to everybody. So that's the way you look at people now. You rank them. So imagine how people will look at you. You're a ranker. So where am I in your life, right?
Okay.
That's kind of weird way of looking at it.
You know what? That's right.
You need to reconfigure that.
I think the negative way of saying it is rank people in your life.
Yeah.
Let me revise it.
Okay,
so I think the nature of relationships is that naturally as human beings we categorize, not necessarily categorize and categorize relationships.
Don't include all of humanity here. Just you. Okay.
Okay, I think in general na lang, why is it important to categorize relationships? Why do we need to set boundaries? That's important to me.
Why do we need to set boundaries?
And that includes titles.
Why do we need to set boundaries?
Yes, and have titles.
Okay.
So if you're in a relationship with someone...
We were talking about inequality, inequity before, right?
Yeah. So, for example, you're in a relationship with someone.
Okay.
For me, in my own opinion, it's important to categorize where people stand in your life.
Mm-hmm.
So, let's say I have a best friend.
Okay.
Me and let's say this person's name is A.
Okay.
Me and A are best friends. A is of the opposite gender, which I'm attracted to. I'm only attracted to that gender, for example.
You mean romantically?
Yeah, romantically.
Okay.
Pero me and A...
Let's just say you're a couple.
Dili mi couple ni A. Best friend rami. Best friend nako si A.
So dili mo...
So mas nauna mi kaila before I met.
But you're not romantically attracted to him. You're just best friends.
We're best friends.
Okay.
Kaya question man diri is, can people in couples have best friends? Diba?
No.
That's the question here.
The question that
what do
I
think about that?
Is how you navigate through the world by ranking people.
Oh yeah, I'll get to that.
That's the bigger question here.
How does what's it? Categorizing relationships for me, why it matters to set boundaries like that. So me and A are best friends, right?
Okay.
And so and then B comes along. B's the love of my life. I get into a relationship with B.
Okay.
So me and B are uyab mi ni B. Karon ang question is, in my opinion, for Justine, is it okay that I have a best friend A and a boyfriend si B?
Okay.
My answer is no.
You don't like that.
Because I feel like the nature of relationships is that you categorize your relationships, right?
Okay.
For whatever reason.
Okay.
But for me, the most important reason is to set boundaries and standards.
Okay.
And titles are important for that. So I feel like B, being the person that I'm romantically involved with, deserves the title of best friend more than A, simply because B is my partner. I don't believe that like you can be in a relationship with someone and then have a best friend. Like the person that you're with should be your best friend.
Oh.
So then A becomes my close friend.
How do you define a best friend? It's like, so you mean to saying you'll never have a best friend? Is that what you're saying?
Your partner is your best friend. Should be your best friend.
So how do you define a best friend? Like for example, the example that I gave you earlier, that you've been together since you were children, right? And then you were best friends when you were children. And then you finally meet the love of your life, right? And then so what happens to that? You're going to dethrone the best friend.
Dili, mahimo lang siya close friend pero
dili na best friend.
I would. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Ma-change ang title.
Yeah. So
do you change titles or ano?
First of all, why do you have labels? Why do you have titles? That's really what I'm kind of intrigued
You
about.
don't believe in. I feel like you need to.
They
help set
labeling
boundaries.
the best friend as the best friend, and then now that I am with this
found
person,
someone.
now you're no longer my best friend because this is my new best friend. That's so childish, man.
I actually feel like it's the opposite. I feel like
It's
it's.
just childish. Like,
I feel like
what
it's
is this
important to
grade
send-
3? Like because
Kikita akong best friend.
because
ana,
that's
ana.
what we are when we're kids, right? We label people. He's my best friend, you know.
But what are the-
I
what-
don't.
what
I
do you
don't.
think would
he's,
happen
he's
if
my
you-
enemy. Like you know.
What do you think would happen if there is no label and that people would assume
What
like in this
you think would happen if there's no
yeah
label?
and then people or that best friend would assume nga they hold they hold equal standing with your partner because there's no label.
Equal standing.
Like equal equal standing with your partner.
What does that mean? Equal standing.
Okay, because you're saying it's very childish to have labels. Nga ang usa imong i-label as imong best friend, ang usa imong i-label as imong kanang love of your life or imong partner niya. Magbalhin-balhin kag label kay
Yeah.
nakampangita naman kag uyab.
Yeah.
Kana imong uyab mahimo na siya imong best
So
friend.
imong childhood best friend, dili na best friend, imo nang relegate into
Something else.
second friend, whatever, right?
Yeah, or something like that. If it
imo
was,
nang gidemote, imo nang gidemote. Oh.
so then I feel
So
like
because it isn't that, don't you feel that it's unfair?
no, I don't.
Nga naman.
Because that's not the person romantically involved with you.
But why
if you
why
wanted
are
to
you
be
why are you confusing romance with friendship? I don't understand.
I feel like the title just changes, but the responsibility that you have to that person, it doesn't mean man that
Why are you confusing romantic relationship with friendship? I don't. Why are you confusing?
why is it unfair first in the first place if the best friend kanang dili na siya matagad as best friend kay naanay uyab iyang best friend? Why is it unfair? Alangan, dili man mo ang uyab, so dili mo ang magkuyog.
Ngano mausab mo sa kasi imong treatment sa imong best friend?
That's the thing. You should not usab. I feel like there shouldn't be a full usab, but the expectations would also change. That's the reality of it.
That's your reality.
For me, huh?
Yeah. So I think Mango, these are social constructs. So we're talking
Those
about
are norms. Yeah.
These are stories that we tell ourselves. These are the rules of engagement.
Yeah.
These are all the things that we have developed and we have to live quote unquote harmoniously forward. Right?
Are you familiar with the term jiggy? Karon sa mga Gen
So
Z.
I think that's what we're doing because it worked for some people, right? But again, this is my thing, right? We always have to be skeptical. We always have to ask, ngano man eh? Nganong ina naman? Remember we asked a stupid question before. Why do we respect our elders, right?
that was a good question though.
It sounds like a no-brainer, right? Because they're older than us, duh.
Pero when we dissected it,
yeah, so there's a reason
diba?
for it. So I think my skepticism stems from that. Okay, mangutana lang ko nganong inana. So I think one of the reasons why, again, just like respect, things
are the way that they are.
Get adopted by some people because it works for them, right? It has
So
made for
some
harmonious some harmonious na utility ba na gamit ba. So because ranking things makes things easier for us. It's because
Yes.
we're lazy.
it gives order.
Because we're lazy, we want to we want to label things so that's easier for us to find. Let's say for example, kani label like
Yeah.
speaker 1, speaker 2. So
Speaker two.
pero
so it serves for order.
It has a purpose.
Okay.
To make things orderly.
Yeah, no doubt. Social expectations
Yeah.
always serve a purpose. The question therefore then is what is that purpose?
Yeah.
No?
Is
Mao na ng pangutana.
Is it even
Worth.
a good way to look at the world, right? Is it because mo bleed magada into other parts of your life just in good. Kung na kay ranking system, so dili na equal imo ang gahisgot taganihog equality, social justice, di ba?
So then, I will ask the question.
Imong pananaw sa tao dili equal na aday rank di ay nay ana. So you'll be accused of kaningan. What do you call that term again?
Discrimination.
A hypocrite.
A hypocrite.
If you apply certain standards to certain things
but not to all things.
and not to all things, diba?
So then the next question is, do you believe that all relationships should be equal? The way that you treat your significant other and your best friend, equal ba na siya? Kaya then, the reality man good is categorization.
I think relationships become deeper when you spend more time with them, right? I think it's really a time thing, right?
Okay.
A relationship becomes deeper. It doesn't have to be romantic, right? It could be just purely friendship, right? It could be a casual relationship. Like I have a best friend. His name is Carlo. I
Shout out to Carlo.
Yeah. We've been together since we were kids, and he's still my best friend now. I don't have any romantic feelings for him, but I wish I had.
Para it would make sense the number. Para mo make sense pod nung ano mo si Muguyog.
Correct.
To spice it up na lang.
Yeah, correct. So
no, but I think
your relationship becomes deeper because of time
and effort spent together.
Yeah. So you cannot replace that with because somebody new comes along, right? And then all of a sudden, you like me or you love me, whatever our relationship is, because of who I am, right? And part of who I am is because
bringing that relationship with other people.
Because I have
huyog naman me with.
Yeah, so appeal man me na. So you've got to accept me for who I am.
I agree.
Right? So na ako'y best friend diri.
Right.
So if you don't like that person who made me
who I am,
he's a huge or she who I am.
Exactly.
That means you don't actually love me.
I think that's the misconception there, that people have to cut off their previous relationships and best friends when they enter new ones. It's not that, but I do believe in the notion that
because you can't. Appeal naman na nimo.
Appeal naman gyud.
Even though if you cut it off, you can't because that person is already part of that person. In fact, he is who he is. She is who she
Undeniably.
is. Because of that other person, right?
Di man gyud na nimo ma-deny ang effect of another person in another person's life.
Correct. Yeah.
Pero I still would firmly believe that di gyud na siya equal. The way that you treat your significant other and your best friend should not be equal. And hopefully when we get to explain this later on, especially for tomorrow, when we bring back this question
because I think
ask people's opinions.
This is a very loaded topic, and I think we can talk about this forever.
Yes.
Mac Help Sales, I totally agree with Justin. Change level good if opposite sex, bisan best friends pa na nimo, but if same sex, pwede ra. Kay nothing can
so
change.
Ma-demote good. Ma-demote mo best friend.
With gays and lesbians, what if imuhang best friend nga babae? So you can't say opposite
it's
sex.
Difficult.
So you cannot say opposite sex. Just the best friend. I think period, right?
It's difficult.
Good morning, Frank Tampos. We're gonna talk about this again tomorrow. Hopefully you can join us in our conversation.
That's
Love
right.
on top. We gotta wrap this up because we have a very special guest here.
Yeah. Actually, atong guest Jiggy, I feel like very timely with our topic today.
Okay,
No, we're talking about
naman.
love and relationships and like
Valentine's Day,
navigating how to like balance friendships and relationships.
Correct.
No, what does it mean to be truly be a hopeless romantic?
Okay.
So we've got important guests for you guys this morning.
Who are these people? Who did you bring in today, Justin?
Got.
Morning, Kuya Magic. Good morning.
Kuya Magic.
I love you, bro, but just the bro, okay?
Just a bro level.
Bro level, man.
You had to clarify that.
Can I be your
Magic sad.
Can I be your breast friend?
Oh my God.
Best
friend.
Can I be your breast friend?
Natangtide. Natangtide. You can't be Kuya Magic's best friend.
Okay.
You can't be you can be his best friend.
Okay.
Kaya according to Mac Help, kay opposite man. Ano.
Okay.
Okay, but anyway, our guest for this morning, guys, very timely for a lesson.
Kinsa man?
We have I would say our Vispop King, Sir Jude Gitamondoc.
Oh my God. Did you say Jude is here?
Yeah.
Oh my
Sir
God.
Sir Jude is here. And we've also got the cast.
with Cebu Music Royalty, right?
Yeah. And we've also got the cast of his upcoming musical production. We have Derek and Yesha, right? Hi, guys. Top of the morning.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. We were just talking about Philmar and Andy Eigenman and their relationship. And about how is it okay to have a best friend? A best friend, not a breast friend, Kuya Magic.
Best friend.
Well, I don't know when I look at you, man. I can't seem to pronounce things correctly. I don't know. Is it okay for the missus to have a best friend?
A breast friend?
A best friend.
Of course, bro.
Okay.
Yes,
all right. Good. So we were just talking about that, and Justin seems to think that it's quite poetic that you guys are here. Why is that, Justin? Why did you say it's quite a coinkydink? That we were talking about relationships and about best friends, and why Jude and the crew are here. Why?
Yeah, so for everyone, top of the morning, we've got 3 great guests for our show today, and I feel like it's very timely with our lesson. We have Sir Jude Gitamondoc.
Lesson?
Our lesson naman. Our topic for today.
Na maestra. Your teacher hat.
I think it came out because Yesha is here. Yesha was previously my student last year.
Sa
No?
mukha, just-
Murag nigawas po.
Our
And-
lesson today.
And in our lessons, we did talk a lot about Sir Jude also when we
Okay.
tackled Vispop
Okay.
and all that. So yeah, a lot of the, you're the mastermind for a lot of the love songs
Grabe.
for our generation. No, karon.
Thank you, Jude, for all your music,
Yeah,
man.
and you've also got an upcoming production
Yeah.
called Hopeless Romantic. So we have
oh.
the two guests are the stars
ay.
of that production here, Derek and Yesha, right?
Yes.
So mo na pag-ingon mo paghisgo na to atong mga best friend
Okay.
ko ay maka-relate kini atong guest this morning. Yeah, so top of the morning to you guys. How are you?
Yes,
Good.
God,
Thank you for inviting us
thank
to
you
be
kayo
here.
for having us here.
Thank you.
Yes, before we get into the topic itself, no, we'd like to ask your opinion on that po, no, magchika-chika sadta. Unsa man gid your opinion about love and kanang how can you categorize relationships?
I think
yeah.
Derek is not aware of this.
Ay!
How
About the Andy Eigenman issue.
Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. Our question's quite
Yeah, broad, right?
broad anyway.
Yeah, well, let's start with that before we talk about your event, right? So, is it okay for a couple to have a best friend outside of the relationship? A best friend.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is it okay for a couple to have a best friend outside of, meaning to say, nga your partner is not necessarily your best friend. You have another person who's your bester friend, if you want to call it that, more than your partner. What do you think? Starting with you.
Katawag si Sir Jude. He's like, this is very...
Ikaw ko ni una, sir. Ikaw ko ni Sir Jude ko, no? Ikaw ko ni
Yeah,
tubag,
Sir
sir.
Jude. Basta na kay song na ma-relate ani.
Bitaw.
Maybe you've written something about this situation.
I think
Okay,
it's just an acknowledgement that not all relationships have to be romantic.
Okay.
Okay.
So there are people that you like collect on a different level. Yeah.
Okay.
So okay ra ka na, sir, nga naay kay best friend nga dili ang imuhang partner, imong romantic partner.
It depends. Okay, different persons have different roles in our lives, and
Yeah.
some people for them their partners have you have a different connection with your partner that is
Yeah.
different from your
Yeah.
best
Best friend. So okay ra nimo na kay best friend. Okay ra nimo, for example, imuhang partner nga naay best friend nga dili ikaw.
Yes, I think because you also need people to talk to about your issues
Yeah.
within your
To
own
confine, right?
relationship. Yes.
Right. So kung naa kay mag-away-away mo pa niya, wa kay best friend, imong kastoryahan mo imong kaaway ra gyapon.
Imong kaaway na imong kastorya.
But I think it's also you have to be aware of the boundaries.
Okay.
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 So
the
then
differences between those relationships.
Okay.
So you would agree, sir, that nagin na categorization of relationships kay naamang gid nay murag separate gid ang title for different people in our lives. Would you agree with that?
Kuan sad siya, it's a bit fluid because you're dealing with human beings.
Correct,
So,
yeah.
There.
So there are different kuan. It's a case-to-case basis.
Yeah.
There's nothing that
Dili man gid na
applies
siya
to
nga
everyone.
strict like that.
How about you,
How about you
young
guys?
people? How old are you if you don't mind?
I'm 18.
18 and
Okay.
how old are you?
I'm 20.
18 and
20 si
20.
Derek,
So this is a
okay.
very important
Yeah.
question then for you guys, because since you're still forming your idea of what relationships are. How about you? What's her name again? Sorry.
Yesha.
Yesha. So how do you feel about relationships? Must you be your partner's bestest friend, or is it okay for your partner, meaning your boyfriend or your girlfriend, to have a bester friend than you? Go ahead.
I think it's okay for my partner to have a best friend, but piggybacking on what Sir Jude said, it's about the boundaries that you put in it. And I believe that in relationships, the best foundation for it is trust.
Okay.
So you need to get to know your partner and your partner's best friend to see if it's okay. And you yourself as a person, you need to like observe and see if this is okay for you still, if it's
Okay.
okay for the relationship, if it crosses the boundaries or if it doesn't.
So the technique there is to spend time also with your significant other's friend. You
Yeah.
gotta get to know. Kinsa mo gid
Yeah.
ang mga kuyog ani nila kung
Yeah,
di
correct.
ka
Yeah.
kuyog,
Yeah.
no? Very important.
I feel like your partner's friends or circle should also be the people that you know. You should also get to know them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then you should also try to understand nganong best friend mo ni sa ako
Yeah.
That
akong
too.
partner, di ba?
Yeah.
Ngano man.
Yeah.
Because kanang best friends mo, they really are kind of a person that has influenced you the most.
Yeah. You can't deny
Co-
it.
Yes.
Contributed to becoming who you are now. So I think it's important that you're right. You have to make an effort to know your partner's best friend, right?
Yes.
And for them to know you as well.
Yeah.
Absolutely. How about you, sir?
Derek.
Derek
Yeah.
and Yesha. Yeah. How about you? How do you feel about relationships? Do you think it's okay to have for your partner to have a best friend that is bester than you? Pardon me for the new English word that I just created. Yes.
Bester.
Well, for starters, I think it's okay because for example, you meet a person who you find interest, and then they're probably like 21 years old, and they probably have a best friend already before you. So I think me as a person, I don't think I have the right to overstep that friendship they have already established.
So you respect that friendship.
Yeah,
Okay.
so you respect that friendship, but it's also on the way you trust your partner, which is what Yesha said. But I think it's also important to instill in our minds that prudence in a relationship is best achieved through a third person. So you can't
that's interesting.
you can't really judge, or you can't really weigh out the problems that may arise in a relationship if you don't have a third person, because love can make you blind, as they say. So
Or act differently.
yeah,
That's true.
it can make you wear those rose tinted glasses. So it kind of affects on how you decide on things. So you need that third person from your significant other or from mine.
To see outside of the box,
Yeah.
no?
Because you're like living in your own bubble, right? And
Yeah.
you don't know what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right because you're inside that bubble. But an outside person, like a best friend, would be the best person.
The bestest.
So katong advice de sa Swedish nga partner ni amigo ni kinsa nga ni Filmar de.
Ni Andy Aigen man
It
Filmar
must have been really good advice, right?
for the issue
Yeah,
na she would tell him
because
to,
she was the outsider in the relationship,
she was,
right?
yeah. And as you know, Yesha mentioned, she got to know both of them
Yeah,
together. We're
yeah.
relating it man good sa kaning atong current news ba kaning
Yeah.
chismis and
Yeah.
news ni.
But
ano.
we could go on a rabbit hole and we could go on not be able to come out of it alive. So what we're going to do, we're going to go back up here
Right.
to exactly the reason why you're here in the studios of 105.1 TMC. Andy,
Derek.
Derek
I-
and Yesha together with Sir
Jude.
Jude Gitamondoc. Jude, before
Yes.
we talk about your show, before we talk about that, I'd like to thank you for all of your great music.
Yeah.
I am blown away that this is the first time that I've ever met you because I've heard so many of your songs. I feel like I know you so much already, Jude. Jude, tell me about how you became who you are. How did Jude Gitamondoc become an excellent and amazing songwriter? How did this happen?
I grew up in the seminary, so
Oh.
we were given a lot of time to like explore our own talents, and I really credit the Salesians of Don Bosco.
Oh,
for
wow. Okay.
molding me into the songwriter that I am right now. In the seminary, you have a lot of occasions for songs. So when we have Parents' Day, we have a Parents' Day song. When we have graduation, we have a graduation song. So
So
they
you
gave
write those
me-
songs?
Yes, they gave me a lot of opportunities. And in our class, we were around 20 in each year level. So everyone has a lot of opportunities. We're not
okay.
fighting for the space. Everyone has their own niche. So
But how did you find the writing niche? Like, did you develop it? Was it like inborn? Were you like writing songs while you're sitting down or scratching your back? Like, how did that
my
happen?
first realization was when I was assigned as the organist of our year level,
Okay.
and I looked at the songbook, and there were names under the titles of
Oh.
the songs. So it was my realization na actually songs did not just drop from the heavens. They were written by people, and in fact in the seminary some of those songwriters were my
Older.
mga
Katong mga higher years.
or the priests that were in the seminary. So na ako na maybe I could be the one
One of
writing those
them.
songs as
Yeah.
well. So I began with actually writing a mass song.
A mass song.
So that's one of the
Yes.
first creations,
Oh.
earlier creations ni Sir
Yes.
Jude. Mass song, mga religious songs.
Yes.
How did you move from that to writing love songs?
Because I
especially-
fell in love.
Ay! I like how he answered it.
go right up.
Guys, did you notice how he didn't
How
even think
quickly,
like
man.
because I fell in love. Love is the greatest inspiration or inspirer. But is that really the case? Like,
Yeah, but in my workshops though, I always say that make as much as possible, try to make the process the inspiration. So then if
Not the
you're not
person.
in love, you can still write songs.
Yeah.
Especially for
Exactly.
songwriters like me, we're asked to write songs about a bakery or so there's no way of finding
To
inspiration
be
for those.
connected to that.
So
Yeah.
the process, the enjoyment of writing a song should be the inspiration of a songwriter.
When did you
Okay.
know that you were getting good at this thing called
Yeah.
songwriting? 'Cause some people they try something and then
And give up.
I'm no good at this. So when was the time you said I can make a living off of this? That's also actually one of my favorite questions. What was that point?
I think on my 300th song.
300th?
So
Okay.
you have to write
Okay.
Around
a lot.
300 songs.
And I think it really just for anyone, if you were to do something, you just have to do it a lot of times and really get better at it. You will always start bad. Had a lot of bad songs. I've written a lot of those, but then you become better, and then it really depends on your attitude as well. If you're
Yeah.
open to like growing or to learning, so then you improve.
So practice really
Yes.
practice makes perfect. You would agree with that, sir,
Yes.
no?
I
So-
also see that in the actors. If you just give them time and space, they will really get better. Yeah.
There's not a lot of pressure that you instill in sila Derek and Yesha
Yes.
when it comes to like fulfilling their roles, no?
Yes.
Okay. So now I'd like to ask sila Derek and Yesha. We have this upcoming production. How did you guys get to know Sir Jude? What was the process of like? Did you audition for this role, for the roles that you guys have? How was it like?
For me, I got to know Sir Jude last year when we worked on a musical called Zephyrin. It was a musical.
Zephyrin.
Yeah,
Okay.
Zephyrin. It was a musical about Don Bosco's patron saint, I believe.
One of his
One-
boys.
oh, yeah, one of his-
the boys who
Yeah.
attended the schools.
Oh, okay, yes, one of the boys who attended his school. And yeah, we just got to know each other there. Working with Sir Jude is such a blessing because I don't know, there's just something that connects us creatively. Our ideas just jive, and it's just a very fun working environment, honestly. And then there, I got to know Hopeless Romantics as well.
Yesha is very humble. I actually handpicked her.
I like how he came in like, no,
yeah.
I have to tell the truth. I have to tell the truth. No?
Yeah.
Okay.
When I revisited that material, I imagined her in that role. So
For this specific role, for this
yes,
upcoming ano.
yes. In fact, she has no alternate at this. for this
Wow.
run. She's the only
Okay.
actress.
So you're the first and only choice of Sir Jude for this role, no?
Yeah, apparently.
I like how they're very humble, Jiggy, no? It's like sila Derek and Yesha.
Humble giro.
Humble here, very humble, and yung vibe is like very. I don't know. Maybe it's a misconception for people in the theater world, no, for actors. I think this is expectation for them to be quite.
Yeah.
I don't know what's the word. Maybe confident, and that's not a bad thing.
That's not bad.
But with these two actors here, they're very youthful and at the same time very humble. I love that, no? And maybe that's one of the reasons also why Sir Jude really jives with you guys. No? How about you, Derek? How were you chosen for this role? Rather, how did you audition or come to know Sir Jude?
Oh, it was very sudden for me
Okay.
because I never imagined myself being in a musical.
Oh, okay.
And I was like asking my classmate Danica, who is also one of Sir Jude's actors. I asked, "Can I do this?" And she said, "Just go for it.
Yeah.
Just go for it. Just try it." And then the Hopeless Romantics production manager then personally asked me if I sing, and I just replied, "A bit, just a bit."
A little bit, just
A little bit.
just a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Okay.
So he asked me to audition. And I was like, should I audition? So I tried to listen for the signs. Should I audition? And there was
you
this.
asked for signs.
Yeah, there
Okay.
was this massive project at school that is hindering me. So maybe this isn't it. But
So
I
that's
just
that's a sign.
kind
Kind of a
I
sign for you.
fought the sign.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it's like part of me wants to be in a musical.
But-
So I was like, as I was making the project, I was like listening for the song that I'm gonna sing.
Okay.
I was like listening. I'm just humming through it. And then I remember the auditions was like 1 p.m. And it was already 12:30 and I need to go.
30
I
minutes
need
to
to
go.
go.
30 minutes.
I need to go. And I was rushing. I was already sweating. It was under the sun. And then when I came there, I was so nervous. I was so nervous. I brag to my friends about this and I say I have a natural vibrato. Not because I have vibrato, but because I was just so
Cool
nervous.
body. Ay, ang
Yeah.
cool body ang vibrato.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, I did so bad. So we proceeded on making the project after.
So wait a minute. Hold right there. You were looking for the sign. So the sign finally was when you got the job, right? right? So that's the
the sign.
sign, right?
Yeah.
So the lesson to be learned here: don't look for signs, just go for it,
And then
and then you'll see the sign.
Yeah.
If you get it,
Yeah.
if you get whatever it is that you're looking for,
that's the clearest sign.
that's the sign. If
Hindi
you,
mo
if, you,
ma-deny.
if you don't get it, then then that's a
Okay,
sign
that's
too.
a sign also.
So anyway, please continue. I interrupted you. I just wanted to point that
That's
out.
okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't have really high hopes.
Okay.
Because I thought I performed bad.
You thought? Okay.
Yeah, and then we were just making the project, and then I remember the stage manager was like, messaging me that I got the role, and it was like hyperventilating while
You
I was
couldn't
making
believe
the
it.
project.
You couldn't
I
believe
couldn't
it.
believe it.
So sometimes the best decisions I don't know if you would agree with this, but would you say that one of the best decisions we could make in life would be the ones that do without overthinking.
Yes.
Just go for it. Kung sa Nike pa, just do it, diba?
They even saying that the more scared you are, the more you have to do it. Most successful people in the world now have the most uncomfortable conversations, uncomfortable situations. They push through it. I think that's important that you actually did it, no matter how uncomfortable you were, right?
Yeah, and look where it got you guys.
Yeah.
Now you're preparing
Congratulations.
for this great project. So Yesha has a theatrical background, as she mentioned. You were in
Yes.
previous
Yeah.
plays before, right?
Yeah.
A lot.
A lot
A lot.
of plays.
I started when I was 12.
12 years
Oh,
old.
okay. And then see Derek, not quite.
He's also had a lot
you've
of
also had a
productions.
lot.
It's
Okay.
with UC Productions.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Could you maybe just tell us a little bit about that? Like, what is your inspiration for music? No, like how
Okay,
come you're
so-
so into music now, and why are you so interested in productions like these?
When I was a kid, my mom used to play theater songs to me.
Shout out to your mom. I know
Wow.
Yeah,
she's
shout out to my
outside.
mom. She's out there. She's
To your parents outside.
What kind of theater songs?
like the classical ones, The Phantom of the Opera, Les Mis. Yeah, that one. And then
Right.
weirdly, I got an opportunity pag 2018, I believe. It was a show, Les Miserables.
Oh, wow.
And then I got casted as a guy,
Oh.
a little boy.
Oh.
Yeah, I got casted as Gavroche.
Oh wow.
And then it was such a fun experience because theater is really, it's really humbling. Like everybody, despite the character differences, there are no big roles, small roles. We're all just friends in the backstage, and that's what really made me fall in love with theater. The people and then the process
the
as well.
relationships that you make.
Yeah.
You know what? You know what, Jude? Thank you for doing this play. What is it called again?
Hopeless
Hopeless.
Romantic.
Hopeless
Hopeless
Romantic, right?
Romantics.
Thank you so much for bringing both Derek and Yesha here. We all know that plays are a kind of relative rarity here in Cebu, and for good reason, right? It is a kind of a very challenging endeavor, right?
Yes.
Expensive.
endeavor.
Kinda, number
Expensive
one,
endeavor,
expensive.
right? And the support usually that most plays get are lukewarm at best, right? Why did you decide to do this
Yeah,
play
to pursue
in spite of
a
all of
play.
that?
I'm first and foremost a songwriter for the theater. That's my main biggest love of my life is theater.
Wow,
So
okay.
I've started since high school. The moment I started writing songs is the moment I started writing musicals as well. I've been
Oh.
writing musicals since high school. So it's been my lifelong obsession to like create something that we can be proud of na comes close to Broadway musicals. So even if we're just here in Cebu, I feel that we can achieve that level of professionalism in theater.
But aren't you scared? Don't you have butterflies? Like, and do you think, I'm hoping that we can be an instrument for change when it comes to asking people, the Cebuanos especially, to show their support.
support.
But is there like a kind of fear and apprehension? And how did you allay those fears?
Definitely, we are very realistic. We know we're pragmatic about things, so we know the challenges. But I think the fear is also what drives us to like try to pull off the goal that we have. So kanasha, it's just a matter of like really aligning all of the partners and also the people who are composing the team. So if you have a good team, I think we can achieve anything.
Yeah.
And sorry, I'm just backing track a little bit. I would be remiss if I don't ask this question. You mentioned earlier that you've been writing musicals since you were a kid, right?
Yes,
What does that mean? Like, I know what it means to write a song, but what do you mean when you say you're writing
Write
a musical? What does that mean?
It just means that I don't think of songs as just one thing. It's I use songs to tell a story. So I
Okay.
write a lot of songs to tell one story.
One bigger story.
Yes,
That
bigger
must be so
story.
complex, no?
Like for example, in a traditional album, right?
Yes.
It is sequenced in such a way that it tells a kind of story. So similar to that, right?
Yes,
Okay.
definitely.
So is this Hopeless Romantic has been in the back burner for a long time, and you just brought it out, or is this like a new project?
It's a 16-year-old project.
Oh my God!
I
Okay.
started this, I think, 2010, but the
Okay.
songs were spanning from my work in 2007 to
Oh.
up to that
So,
point.
so does that
Wow.
mean that you actually have hit songs that is based on Happily Ever After?
There are some of those songs are part of this
Like
musical
what
as
song,
well.
for example?
I think Wait Forever is the most significant. That's recorded by Gary V.
Okay.
As
Wow.
his first single from his Relevance album.
Oh wow. Okay.
That was my first big break, so I also felt some connection with that song.
Oh my
That's
God,
why
really?
I decided
You brought
to-
it back for this production.
Nonchalantly, he just said, "I wrote for Gary V."
See, that's what I mean.
Just
When I
Gary.
mention humble energy, this is
Yeah.
what I mean.
Yeah.
They're just very
Yeah.
low-key about it. See,
So
go ahead, sir. Sorry.
how long ago was this song for Gary V?
It was released in 2006, but
Okay.
I wrote it I think
2006.
2003.
Okay.
Okay. So,
You know-
but the songs that are used for this are from 2007 until 2010.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
No new songs that you've written nowadays that you just
There
decide
are
to throw?
songs.
Okay.
There's a couple of songs as well that are new for this one. Because I revisited this, I was looking at my email and I found this old screenplay. It was a screenplay back then
So,
when I started it, and then I decided to transform it into the musical play.
I bet you're glad you didn't
just
clean your
stumbled.
emails.
You just stumbled upon it.
Yes.
This idea.
Yes, it's been in the back of my mind
Okay.
because I've always been obsessed with this main character na I pegged na kwan. He's a boy who's so in love that he
Okay.
cannot help but speak in poetry.
Okay.
So that was
Marag mambabalak.
Mamabala.
Oh,
Simp.
Yes.
So kani siya mambabalak na ka ni Derek, ha? Mahulog inana mambabalak.
Mambabalak?
All three of them.
Balak
all
nun ka,
of
marag
us.
balak nun kay ka ba? Nga imuhang because you're so in love. That actually happens to a lot of people. If they're in
Yes.
love, they become poets, right?
Yes.
And then that's how songs
Yes.
come about, right?
Yes.
And is this kind of biographical? Is this actually you in a way? Is this you? Is this you, Jude? Because some people are like that. They actually put themselves as one of the characters of the movie, of the play, right? Is this you?
Just the basics, probably, like the idea of like writing a love poem for someone. That's me. But then the specifics of the story grew out of the characters.
Okay. So
Mm.
not necessarily.
Yes, there's a lot of instances where the character was different from who I am.
Okay.
So-
But the base of the character, like the
Yes,
foundation.
Definitely. I
Definitely.
will not deny that. I've always said
First
that-
here. Okay.
I've always said my inspiration is a process, but unfortunately for this project, it was a heartbreak.
It's still a
a
real experience.
It's a
heartbreak.
heartbreak.
Oh my
Hala,
God. Oh, wow.
okay. So
The
this
same person that you fell in love with also broke your heart, and is that the same person, or yes or no?
ang doko. You should have seen their faces. They were really like,
The others are looking at me and
Yeah, they're
they're
like-
thinking, are you using me?
are you using us to tell your story? No, mga hinanakit ni Sir Jude. So basically, guys, you're actually just storytellers of Sir Jude's mga hinanakit, no? His pains, his agonies, no? So Hopeless Romantics, this is a
Plural, there, plural na yes.
Romantics?
Romantics Incorporated.
Oh,
Okay.
In the
wow.
story, they came up with this group as students to like write a love letter, love poems. So
Oh,
that's
that's
the idea.
interesting. This is
Yes.
set to be released when?
This is
I mean,
staging this February 21 to 23 at the UP Performing Arts Hall.
Wow.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, where can they get the tickets for this?
They can get the tickets online sa Ticket to Me, but we have also a school and promo, so they can just message our page.
Oh, perfect. So if you show proof that you're a student, then there's
Yes.
some kind of
they need to
discount.
submit an ID.
Okay,
But
so-
this is open to students and teachers as well. So we're
Okay.
open.
Night teachers discounts also.
Yes.
Okay.
So hopefully the teachers can be
Yeah.
students.
So that's why try as much as possible to bring your friends.
Yeah.
Would you advise bringing your mga significant others
Or your best friend?
Or your best friend to this? Kasi na yung maiguan eh.
both of them.
Or both of them. What do you think?
We have a bring a date promo.
Really? Bring a date.
Yes.
Okay.
And work out the promo
Okay.
sa Ticket to Me. So,
So
yes,
guys,
definitely.
message
Well, what's that
Mo.
ticket to me? How do you spell it? Is it the number 2 or ticket?
Number 2.
So ticket and
to
number 2 and then me.
Or
Yes.
better yet, Facebook page na lang.
Facebook
No?
page, which is
Hopeless Romantics Incorporated.
so
love that.
this is a one day only.
No, this 3 days.
3 days.
6 shows. So we
6
have
shows.
2 shows per day.
Okay, so there's a matinee and there's
Yes, 4 o'clock and 7:30.
the 4 p.m. and then 7:30. This falls on what days? Is it the weekday or a weekend? I'm just curious.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Oh, perfect.
Oh, I'm so
So it's
excited
happening
for
at
this.
the UP,
UP Cebu Performing Arts
the
Hall.
Performing Arts Hall. This is at the college campus, right?
Yes.
And it is how much are the tickets, if you don't mind me asking you?
The tickets are currently regular tickets are at 1,000 for general ad and
Okay.
1,200 for VIP.
Okay. So
Yes,
guys,
but-
please show your support. I am not begging you. I am
Telling you.
I am telling you right now, man. This is Jude Gitamondoc we're talking about here. We're talking about Cebu music royalty. You have no
Exactly.
idea what it means to not just to Jude and to Derek
Yeah.
and to Yesha, but to
Mga young
Cebu.
bloods, yeah.
This if this becomes like a huge success. I'm sure they're gonna probably be touring all over the country,
Of course,
if not
yeah,
all over
for
the
sure.
world, and probably make a movie out of this, right?
Yeah,
Why the
why
hell
not?
not, right? Is that a
Yeah.
possibility,
Of
Jude?
course, yes,
Yeah?
definitely.
Hopeless Romantics Incorporated. Is this like a pun to Lonely Hearts Club and Dead Poet Society? Is that
Something like
something
that?
like
Oh,
is there something here?
Definitely,
Yeah?
yes.
Ang mga songs, ani Sir Jude, are they Bisaya or
They're
English?
English.
Okay, all
Okay,
English
yes,
songs.
yes.
All
Okay,
English songs,
okay.
but there's one scene that you just have to.
Oh, we
watch
just have
out
to see
for
it.
because it's in Bisaya.
Oh my god.
Okay.
How long is the play?
The whole place around 2 hours long with no
Okay.
intermission, so you should.
What's that?
With no intermission.
So you have to be you have to be there and evacuate already before you go in, right?
Yes.
Right, to make sure because
Hear nature's callings
Yeah,
first.
you don't-
Heed to nature's callings
you
first.
don't want to miss anything, right?
out.
Lonely, not lonely. Hopeless, Romantics Incorporated happening this Feb
21
21
to
to 23
23.
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at the UP
Performing Arts.
Performing Arts Hall. Get your tickets now. Go to Hopeless Romantics Incorporated
On
on their Facebook
Facebook.
page, or go to Ticket to Me.
Yes.
Where's this? Also on Facebook?
Yes. They have a website, tickettome.net.
This will be like the perfect Valentine's Day gift, right?
Yes.
You give it to her on Valentine's Day. Can you imagine how beautiful that is? You're going on dinner date and you have a gift for
Exactly.
a future date.
Labi na nga, ang Valentine's is only on the 14th. You
Yeah.
can extend your celebration by telling them, next weekend, we're going to watch a...
But the question is, can you bring your best friend in a Valentine's date?
Patay!
We have Barkada promo.
Ana may yeah. See? They're not discriminatory.
I love your focus.
They know how to target everyone. Ang mga walay uyab, okay ra na. You can bring your friends na lang.
Yes.
You know what, Justine? We always want to support and make sure that local music thrives. In fact,
Exactly.
explodes all over the world, right? So I have to ask this question. We don't grow great talent just like that, right? They have to be
Cultivate.
I mean, we don't. It doesn't happen overnight. I mean,
Yeah.
they need to be in the right environment. And seeing what happened to you, Jude, you were in Don Bosco.
Yes.
You were given the right environment, the right situation, the right nudge
Yes.
towards what happened to you now. Like, how do you think can we replicate this? How
Yeah.
come?
How can we do that?
How can we do this again? And aside from yourself being a product of Don Bosco, like, are there other Jude Gitamondocs out there in Don Bosco? And if not, like, where and what can you do? What can we do to make sure that a kind of similar Don Bosco-ish environment also happens everywhere, so we can make more of you?
I think the key there is persistence and patience. Because in order to groom really good talent, we have to wait for it to grow. A lot of people right now are focused on like making hit songs or stars out of like social media celebrities.
Okay.
But what we need to realize is that good talent takes time. So you have to give them a lot of opportunity, a lot of space to explore. Like in theater, we allow our actors to explore and make mistakes. So then they're able to learn from those mistakes. So
Okay.
I think it's that kind of attitude, I guess, and because time equals money, so you really invest a lot of
Yeah.
time and effort and money into these artists.
You mentioned mistakes, right?
Yes.
What was the best mistake you ever made?
The best mistake was
That person.
enrolling in UP Diliman Conservatory,
Okay.
thinking na I have to enroll in a music degree to be a songwriter.
Okay.
So I spent around 2 sems.
Okay.
But then I had the time of my life there because I learned a lot, and I learned then this is really what I want, to be a songwriter. I don't need to be there to become a songwriter.
So you went to school for songwriting, and you thought that was a mistake.
Yeah, because the first day, our dean was telling us, if you want to be like Ryan Cayabyab and Louis Campo, this is not the place for you.
So you're like, patay nang enroll na biya ako, sir. Sir, ni bayad na biya ako sa enrollment.
Yes. But I learned a lot there because, it broadened my mind. There's a lot of other kinds of music that you don't hear on radio. So those were the things that I learned. And that's also one way that I got to know who I really am. Maybe my interest is really just songwriting. I'm not really interested in those other
Everything
things.
else.
Yes.
Okay.
So it gave me focus.
That experience was still a blessing
The mistake,
for you.
the mistake that he made of spending money to enroll in a school, actually allowed him to figure out exactly what he wants, and this is what he wants. And so, I mean, you didn't pursue it because you didn't what because that's what your teacher said.
No, I wasn't really interested in the subject matters that were explored there. Like, for example, we were taught avant-garde music, which is like the music of John Cage and all that. I wasn't really interested in those kinds of things. It's good to know that those music exists, but my own interest really is in songwriting and theater. So I found my place.
Okay.
Is Hopeless Romantics Inc. your nth stage play, or have you how many, when was the last time you made one?
I wrote Siddhartha, which is currently touring all over the world.
I remember. Oh, that was yours.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay.
And then I had another touring show, which is Star in Cloud, which is based on the life of the founder. A lot of my works are commissioned work, so they're mostly about saints and historical figures. So I figured from here on out, probably I want to focus on my own self-expression. So then that started with
Your
Hopeless
story.
Romantics, and also we have another one coming this June, which is Hook Up, the musical.
Another one. Is it kind of related to Hopeless Romantics? Oh my! Okay. We have to watch. We have to watch it to know, right?
Maybe we can talk about hookups too, right? Because that's a thing now, right? A hookup, right?
Culture.
When Yesha is not here.
We'll talk about
Close your
it
ears.
when the kids are not here. I'm just kidding. I know you're all grown-ups too. And speaking of the times, how do you feel about the new crop of songs now? Sometimes maminaw ka lang sa mga tao wa mani padungan, like, do you feel you're a dying breed? Do you feel that the way you write
This pop
songs are old and outdated? How do you feel about the way the world consumes music and what our preference is as a species, not just Filipinos, but on a global scale, and the way that you're writing music?
When I think of songs, Manggod, I think of them as like that it's kind of an idea that progresses, no? So there are different kinds of songs for different times. Back in the day, we didn't have that idea of a hook, but now it's very popular.
Yeah, now.
Hook.
In fact, the hook, there's no lyrical content in the hook. It's just the woes and the
The
yes,
and the
the na-na-nas. But I think it's a natural progression from things. No? So I'm not very discriminatory about those kinds of forms. I actually appreciate because it sees we see that people are really having fun with the form and exploring different ways to express themselves. So kung makakita ko mga bago na permutations sa songwriting, I appreciate it, and malingaw ko actually.
I like the way you describe it as permutations, right?
Yes.
So my question here, I guess, is where do you see this going? Is this going to the right direction? Is this are we about to go to a cliff and fall off, or
Are we heading up to a hill?
a disaster in terms of songwriting? Because you're right. Like a lot of songs here are kind of mutated and weird sometimes. The words.
Yes. If you're just looking at the trends, probably you'll be worried. But I always look at the consumer. The consumers are human beings, and we tend to gravitate towards things that really resonate with us in anything, arts, food, or wherever. So if human beings are consumers, so I'm very hopeful na there's that element that will be retained. That's really looking for that genuine human connection.
Yeah.
Yes. So
that's nice.
But then if you talk about the business, that's a totally
That's a different side also.
conversation.
Okay.
I have a lot of ideas about that as well.
Okay.
Wow, and of course your project is happening very soon. In fact, it'll be showing on February 21 to the 23rd at the UP Theater.
Yes.
And it's called
Hopeless Romantics
Incorporated.
Hopeless Romantics Incorporated. Go get your tickets now. Once again, go to their Facebook page, Hopeless Romantics Inc. on Facebook, or Ticket to Me. And can I give you a little tip, ladies and gentlemen, please? Don't be one of those last-minute guys because mga masubuan nun, we're notorious for that. Kung producer ka og event, maglabad mo kung
exactly.
Some ni sila yung wala pa, human last minute kay magpanik-panik na. So make sure you guys give this as a gift for Valentine's Day. So that means you can it's available now, right?
They should be purchasing right now because our Valentine's promo ends on Valentine's.
Okay, guys, come on.
So again, what's the Valentine's promo again, sir?
It's we have bring a date promo, which is like buy 2 tickets, and I think at a discounted price. I forgot the discounted price, but then we also have the Barkada promo.
The best friend promo, you call
best friend promo.
Okay.
We should brand that way.
Best friend na lang.
Yes, you can buy 5 tickets for at
a lower price.
Okay.
Okay, guys,
and
so
what's the capacity of that venue?
Around 250 to 300.
Oh, see that, guys? Very limited.
Yes, that's why we had 6 or putting out 6 shows.
6 shows, yes.
Okay.
I'm sure that will not be enough.
Not bitaw. Hopefully there'll be a continuation.
Yes, please. I can't wait. I can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, Derek and Yesha of the
Hopeless Romantics Incorporated.
Sorry, man. I always thinking Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club and Dead Poets Society. And those are the two things. So, but it is.
So it really reflects my age, though.
Yeah, our age.
Those are my pegs.
Thank you so much for dropping by. Why don't you invite them, Yesha and Derek, to watch your show? Go ahead, especially your friends and your best friends.
Hala.
Go each.
All right, best friends or loved ones of everyone. Am I even making sense?
Yeah.
If you wanna feel kilig during the Valentine season, or if you are heartbroken and ganahan ka magmaoy, definitely I recommend watching Hopeless Romantics Incorporated. It's a whimsical and wholesome love story that is not just focused on a specific type of love, but love in general. So, as Sir Jude said, fall in love for the first time with Hopeless Romantics Incorporated.
Ooh, I love that. Thank you, Derek. Yesha?
Oh my gosh, I'm pressured. You're so good.
What's something you can do na lang to? What's your hope for everyone to watch the show? Like, what's something you want to say?
I'll just
shout out.
Koan. We also have a promotional show this Saturday in Kui. Mm-hmm. It's in Raintree Mall.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and then we will have a surprise.
So 6 to 10, we will be selling discounted tickets there.
Yeah.
If you show up there, you'll be able to meet the cast there as well. They'll be
meet and greet.
Performing.
Okay, when is this? Sorry?
This is
this Saturday.
On the 15th.
Asan siya sa
Kui?
Kui.
Asan man na siya?
It's in
Raintree Mall.
It's a cafe in Raintree Mall, right?
Yes.
Kui Cafe, Raintree Mall.
Healthy food.
Oh, katong mga smoothie bowls, no?
Yes.
So, is this a free event? No.
Yes, it's a free event.
So anybody can just go there.
Yeah. Everyone can go there, but they can also buy discounted tickets.
Okay.
And meet the cast members
and
as well.
you're gonna be.
We're gonna be performing live our songs.
Really now?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is like a sneak peek
Yeah.
of the full show, which is happening the 21st until the 23rd this February.
Yes.
Oh my God!
All right, so guys, don't miss it. As Yesha mentioned, come to the sneak peek or the live performance events at Kui. This Saturday, February 15th at 6 p.m., right?
Yes.
Come meet the cast rather. Cast.
And your lessons, please
Yesha.
make sure you study your lessons.
Seeing Yesha trigger something in me, I'm like, it triggers. I get triggered.
Yesha, can I ask you a question? Is she a good teacher?
Very. She's my favorite teacher.
Wow, Yesha.
She gives good grades.
How can I not? Thank you. So, how can I not give good grades? Do you give my subjects about music? What do you expect? We have one of the best actors in class. Na ipasample. Yesha, can you sample? Okay, rapon siya. Sample rapon siya, no? So again, thank you so much, Derek, Yesha, and of course, Sir Jude Gitamondoc.
Can I just ask one more question before I let you go? Have you ever used your acting to no good? Like, have you ever acted on some
for
pretended
a
to
bad
cry?
purpose?
Pretended
Yes.
to cry because you wanted
Just
to.
recently.
Okay, tell me.
Hala.
Tell us about it. Tell us about
Oh
it.
no,
Come
I'm
on.
gonna expose myself. But
It's okay.
in San Carlos,
Okay.
there's a rule where we can't like not wear uniforms, and I broke that rule.
Okay.
And I was caught in the library.
Okay.
And what I did to escape was cry.
Oh
Cry
my
to the guard.
Cry to the guard.
Yeah, I was like, Ayun, can you listen, guy? You know, I mean, there's people alone. There's people alone. I'm so stressed. And
So
then,
Jude, is this what you teach them? Guys, if you want to get out of a situation,
Just cry.
just cry, huh?
yeah.
But it worked. Did it work?
They gave back my... She told me to stop crying, and then she gave back my ID.
So nagi practical use ang acting.
Oh,
Dili
yeah.
lang ni para sa
For
mga
entertainment?
plays or mga
No.
movies. You can actually use your acting,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Especially if you're a
As in-
politician, right?
Lahipod na. Uh-oh. Lahipod siya, lahipod.
Jude, before we wrap this up,
Yes.
I know it's difficult to choose your favorite child, right? If you had children, but if you had to choose, what's Jude Gitamondoc's favorite song of Jude Gitamondoc that you wrote?
Oh.
Come on. You
I
got
have an answer for that. It's usa ka libo ug usa ka panamilit.
Oh my
because
God.
I believe that's
Wow.
my best written Cebuano song so far.
Okay.
Hopefully I can top that, but for now we have that.
I actually totally and completely love this next song, man.
From Miss
And
Katsky.
you wrote this for
Yes.
Katsky, right?
Yes.
I had a conversation with her, and you said this was like kind of made for her, right?
Yes, I designed it especially vocally
For her.
for her voice.
Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Sir Jude here. This is his. If he had to choose a child, this was his favorite. Is his favorite child until maybe something is born that hasn't been born yet, right? Usa ka libo, usa ka panamilit. Can you give us a background of this song before I play it? Come on, Jude, come on.
What's
Heartbreak.
the tea?
What's
the tea behind it?
In English, ano isa kay 1,001 goodbyes,
Yes,
right? Okay.
It's a song about a person who's trying to let go but can't say goodbye. So, muna usa ka libo ug usa because sa usa ka libo niyang panamilit nipuno pa gyud siya og usa. So, that's the idea of the
Sus.
song.